Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com. All the guys want. I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather. I was trying to fight every fighter. I sacrificed a lot
Dazn Productions
to get to where I got to.
What do you bring to the table?
Let's get this on. Let's do it.
Well, it's like this. Wait.
All right, that's it. Hold on. Bernard, everybody calm down.
Man, you know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I sacrificed a lot. BoxingVoice.com to get to where I got to. BoxingVoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another morning edition. We suffered some internet issues this morning as they were doing some service here in the area of the studio, but we doubled back with another one. Floyd Mayweather making headlines, suggesting to TMZ that if he trained Deontay Wilder in the Wilder 3 rematch that's been activated, he could train him and teach him how to win. So this is what we're going to be discussing. Floyd's opinion on whether or not he can get Wilder over that hump and have him get a win over Tyson Fury. So if you're interested in this topic, you know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. You can also add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation anywhere in the world. Don't forget, you can download that app absolutely free in your respected app market, whether that be Android or iPhone. You can get that app absolutely free. Don't forget to download the Patreon app and join us for some Untitled and a bunch of other exclusives. Don't forget, Border Wars is dropping. The trailer is out. It's hot. If you want to check it out, you can do so. But yes, let me head on out to my co-host in Indiana.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. I can't say it enough. I speak it, believe it.
Windows stamp, 2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and miss, 2 to stand over.
Turn up.
Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million.
And I'm in.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yo, what up? And shout out to everybody out there in TBV universe. Back with another one, man. It just seems like, bro, ever since this Wilder vs. Fury 2 fight, it feels like a soap opera. Days of our lives, man. Every day is like a twist, a turn. Somebody saying something. Floyd comes out and said, hey, he knows what to do to ensure Wilder the victory next time. George Foreman came out, and also Deontay Wilder came out over this past weekend and confirmed that he would be taking the rematch. So we got a lot to break down and a lot to get into. What's going on, Mr. Monkey? Yeah.
It's me, Mario.
What up? Yo, listen, I will say this, regardless, and we're going to chop it up, but regardless of everything that's happening or regardless of the negativity that I really don't appreciate about the fight and about, the criticism on both fighters, really, I will say that this fight achieved what it needed to do. It propelled the heavyweight division like, I won't say like no other fight, because definitely Joshua, there was, his 2 fights with Ruiz definitely put the heavyweights on the map, but this fight is getting so much attention. Man, I saw a skit on SNL last night. Well, I recorded. I saw him talking about it on Telemundo. Like, this fight is not, they have not stopped covering this fight. And why is it? Why is Floyd getting asked? Why? Because they delivered in the biggest way. I don't think either of them were losers, but we'll chop it up. We'll get into it, and we'll talk about how silly Floyd is.
Well, you got me intrigued right there. I was going to actually throw the ball to Mike, but why is Floyd silly?
Listen, this silly motherfucker. Yo, he just don't know when to shut his mouth. He needs to try to stop trying to take Wilder shine. And listen, I'm going to be honest. We all know that Wilder and I have not had the best, communication, the best, relationship over the past. But I respect the fuck out them. I don't respect a lot about what he said after the fight, but what he did in that ring, a lot of people give him shit for. Yo, that man survived. That man tried. That man kept going. He deserves every prop. You know why? Because it takes two people to make a classic. It takes two people to make a moment in history when it comes to boxing. Very few moments are one-sided in boxing. Even Paul Williams, Sergio Martinez's knockout of Paul Williams, that engraved in your mind is Paul Williams falling. So Floyd is trying to take this shine because nobody gives a fuck about him and Conor. And he's trying to say he could teach this man how to beat. No, he can't. No, he can't teach this man, because at the end of the day, I never seen him coach anybody, train anybody up, and that's what you have to do. You want to teach somebody in this kind of a fight, that has to be your corner man. And there's no reason for Wilder to leave his camp. There's no reason for Wilder to leave his corner. They have his back in a way that Floyd never will. So this man's silly. He needs to stop. He's just trying to get shine. He's trying to take he didn't like that, the boxing world, heavyweights are back, and it's outshined Floyd Mayweather. He don't like it. He don't like that these men are becoming stars, and they could be bigger stars than Floyd, because the heavyweight division is the Hollywood of divisions, and big money, and he's just trying to get his name in it. That's it. That's all it is. He's silly. He knows he can't teach him how to beat Fury. That's not something he can do. That's not realistic. You can't teach a man to do that. This isn't defensive lineman school. This isn't how to hit a curveball. This isn't let's work on your jump shot, LeBron. This is a completely different thing that is unlike any other aspect of coaching. And so he's just a silly motherfucker.
Well.
Yeah. I'll go ahead, Ness.
Oh, no. Go. I was actually just saying, about to pass you the ball, see what you thought.
I'm going to look at it from another perspective, a different light. Now, can Floyd come in and teach Wilder to train him and beat Fury? That's going to be highly, suspect and questionable, because Floyd, like Mario said, I don't think he ever trained anybody. He has no experience in being in a corner. But now, can Floyd come in and possibly give Wilder some tips and see things in the fight with Fury that Wilder could exploit? You're absolutely right, man. Talk about one of the best fighters of this past generation. One of the best defensive fighters of his time, and in his heyday, he was a damn good offensive fighter too. So I can look at it and say that Floyd could come in and probably teach Wilder some things or show Wilder a couple pointers. But I think what he was doing yesterday was just being Floyd, man, and playing to that UK crowd. Giving. Let me interrupt you there, because and you continue. But why would he be playing to a UK crowd? If he want to play to them, he would say that that Floyd. He would say that Wilder can't win just to chummy up to them. Instead, he said he could teach them to win. But Floyd is the ultimate antagonist, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He likes that bad guy. You know what I'm saying? No matter where he's at, it's all about him. If he feels like he can do something, then what the hell with what we just seen for Fury, I can show this man how to win, and that's just Floyd being Floyd.
See, Mike said is that he was playing to the crowd, but I think you misinterpreted, like he was trying to get the UK guys on his side. No, he was giving them what they expected. Those people showed up to see Floyd Mayweather, and he's an antagonist. If he was up there, well, I think Fury's so good that Wilder could have beat. People would probably boo him out the building. They want him to be the bad guy, and that's what he knows he wants to be the bad guy.
I'm on the other side. I think a guy on the level of Floyd could definitely show him some things. I mean, we've seen Wilder perform on all other levels. Maybe there's a hint of anxiety that gets to him in the big fight. We seen the pacing back and forth. People asked about it. People talked about it. They questioned what that was, and we maybe that's it. Maybe Floyd can teach him how to deal with that. I mean, he said it in his first fight, like, yo, I had a lot of pressure. I was trying to perform. I was trying to get the knockout. It was my first pay-per-view. And then the second pay-per-view is even bigger than the first. Maybe that same pressure was there. There's only one guy that's been under those lights as bright as they've been, and that's Floyd. Floyd's has has had the millions and millions watching him. He knows how to deal with that. And not only that, the boxing mind. He still is a boxer first. So I agree with Mike. There's some things that he can see that maybe he can, show to Wilder.
Listen, I'll agree with both of y'all in the fact that could he head over to Wilder's house and could they put the fight on and could they look at it and they say, well, look, man, what you really got to do in this situation, okay, but what you got to do here, but to say that I'm going to teach this man, it's silly. It's silly because I'm not saying that Fury's unbeatable or that Floyd wouldn't know how to beat him if he was a heavyweight, but these are two different styles. Here's the thing. I think he's as likely to help him as he's as likely to hurt him. Okay, what are we going to see? What is Floyd going to do in his camp, and what is he going to teach him? That Wilder does specific to that kind of training or that kind of approach to fighting. That it doesn't work. It doesn't mesh. What Wilder does best, Floyd has never done well, and that's the truth. Floyd has never had that kind of punch, and that's Wilder's strong suit. What's up, Mike?
One thing that Floyd can probably show him and improve on is just to play to your strengths, you know what I'm saying? Even though Floyd is not a big puncher, he always played to his strengths in defense, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure Floyd knows how to handle big punchers, so he probably can show him things that Fury might not see coming that he will, you know what I'm saying? Look low, but throw high, you know what I'm saying? Like jab to the body low, look low, and come up over the top with that right hand. Like it's a lot of little things that Floyd was very, very good at, like manipulating his eyes, making guys think that he's going somewhere, but he's really going somewhere else. So I think, man, Floyd can definitely show or teach him a couple of tips, but I'm not so sure that with their past history, Wilder is going to be open into bringing him in. That's
Mike,
my whole thing.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, Fury Wilder happens, and let's say Floyd Mayweather spent a few days in camp. Wilder wins. Do you say that Floyd Mayweather was a big contributor to that? I mean, could you imagine? I know it's a difficult question because you wouldn't know, without footage and all that. But just generally, would you credit Floyd for that?
Depends on what Wilder comes out and says. If he said, man, your Floyd came down to camp and he gave me a couple pointers that I used tonight, then I think we have to give us some credence to what Floyd says and what Floyd does. And one thing about Floyd, man, he ain't just well, sometimes he does talk to be talking, but I think, you know what I'm saying, that he truly believes that if he trains anybody, that he can show them how to win because he has the blueprint that has never been beat.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with Mario in the sense that Floyd has never trained anyone, so he has no resume to speak of other than his own. But I look at it from a different standpoint, and I talked about this before. Even if you don't think he can teach you anything, bring him in anyway. Bring him in anyway. Because it's gonna affect the pay-per-views. It's gonna affect the popularity of this fight. More writers are gonna imagine the millions of people that will write.
Bro, that would be a circus.
Dude,
you're right.
How many people are gonna write? How many Shannon Sharps and Skip Bellises and Stephen A. Smiths and Max Kellermans, and who isn't going to talk about this? Who is not talking about this today? This just happened an hour ago and it's already ripping the internet apart.
What exactly did he say?
Oh, let's play the audio.
There we go.
Audio. Where are you?
Don't forget, if you're listening right now on YouTube, take a second out and smash that thumbs up button. We got 332 watching right now. So give me 332 thumbs up, man. We appreciate everybody out there listening. Thank you so much.
So yeah, let me locate this. I queued it up on the board. Just got to see where exactly I put this thing.
No problem. I can tell you though, the
quotes are there though. The quotes are. I mean, it's clear. I want the audio, but here is basically what he said in quotes. Floyd Mayweather to Deontay Wilder. Where are we? Okay, so Mayweather was speaking at an event in Manchester, England over the weekend when he was asked straight up, do you think Wilder will win the rematch with Fury? Floyd responded, if I train him, I can teach him how to win. So Floyd has been especially supportive to Deontay Wilder after the loss of February 22nd when he faced heavyweight Tyson Fury and lost his WBC title. Now, I had said that I thought the support was fake because he was no longer a threat. There was no more, oh, Floyd's record in jeopardy, Wilder's coming, he's going to be 50-0, plus he's doing it with knockouts. There was some threat. And that's why Floyd had never been supported up until the loss, in my opinion. We've never seen him talk highly of Wilder until he lost, until he was no longer a threat. But we're past that. I think it's a good thing. I think it brings attention to the fight, attention to the camp. It adds to pay-per-views. It cannot hurt.
But the way he said it, though, it was like kind of like an offhanded comment. He took that pause. He built up anticipation. Everybody started going to the front of their seats, and he just said, yeah, if I train him. Like, Floyd still got that mentality, like, I'm that dude, okay? And if I'm that dude, then I can help somebody else try to be that dude. That's not a coach. A coach is selfless. A coach will eat shit if that means his fighter's going to win. Will Floyd eat shit? Fucking never. So he could never be that he could never be. Look, I'm not going to say that his father was a bad trainer. He wasn't. But there were a lot of times where his father tried to make it about him. You know what I mean? And it clashed with a lot of different fighters for that. I can't see Floyd being any better. I can't see Floyd being as talented a trainer as his father. I just don't see it. Not right now. I'm not saying he couldn't be. But to hone that skill and to put it into a method where you can teach another human being, because I've been in that situation where I'm, kids baseball. I taught my brother how to hit. He ended up being a really good ball player. It's difficult, man. And I remember there were times where I slapped that kid in the face because he wasn't paying attention to me. I would beat him on purpose. Like I'm not a good coach like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Floyd would do that or he could do that to Wilder, but it's just one of those things where it's not realistic. He's being silly. He's being silly, man.
I would lean more towards with Ness, though, by saying that inside that locker room, man, we did see a lot of pacing back and forth, you know what I'm saying? And Wilder said in the last fight, he felt a lot of pressure in the first Fury fight with pressing, you know what I'm saying, going for the knockout. So back-to-back fights, man, it kind of seems like that the moment could be kind of, you know what I'm saying, influencing him or possibly getting to him. And what better person to have in your corner or to talk to other than Floyd Mayweather, who's been in that moment time after time again, done 4 million pay-per-view buys on more than one occasion. Looked solid against Manny Pacquiao when he outboxed him. Destroyed Conor McGregor in the other big pay-per-view. So if there's anybody that knows about how to be calm and be focused in those kind of moments, it's Floyd Mayweather.
Brother, I completely agree with you. And Ness made that point, but I really like the way you articulate it because I understand it better now what y'all are saying. If Floyd would have came out and said, or if they would have said, hey, can Wilder win the rematch, the third fight? And he said, if I mentor him, then I would have been like, yeah, Floyd could definitely mentor him, help him with the lights, help him with the nerves, help him with all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of other people that would be better for that, sports psychologists and everything. But Floyd's been at that level, like Ness said, and just like Mike said, he could teach him a few things, and that could help him prepare better, and that could help him be better in the ring come fight night. But when I hear him say, yeah, if I train him, that to me says if I take him and I make him my fighter and I show him and we do target mitts and we strategize, that just, it's not going to help. It's not going to help Wilder at this point. Mentor, yes. Coach or trainer, no.
So we would have to see if Wilder's, opinion has changed on Floyd, because back in 2018 after the first draw, he wasn't too happy or willing to have Floyd in the corner. As you can see here in the article that I'm sharing that is from TMC, Deontay Wilder on Floyd Mayweather, he wants all the attention on him. And it says here, Deontay Wilder said his highly entertaining draw with Tyson Fury rubbed fellow boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. the wrong way because it took him off the spotlight. On Saturday, TMZ Sports passed along the message to the Bron Bomber, who pointed out most of the boxing world came out came away happy with the fight. They loved it. They loved it. Every bit of it, Wilder said. The world loved it, and I don't think Mayweather liked that, though. He wants all the attention on him. It's sad. That's it. It's sad it's like that, excuse me. Mayweather said Thursday that the clash between Wilder and Fury was a hell of a show, but took a jab both by stating that he makes more in retirement than they do while active fighters, per FightHype.com. So, again, this is still a major reason why Wilder may say, no, man, I don't want that dude in my camp. But again, this was 2018 December. You know, this was not right now. This means that obviously you could be thinking a different way. You could be feeling a different way. And again, it adds to pay-per-views, bro. How many? I don't know. But look at Gervonta Davis. He's a star based off Floyd.
Well, here's the thing, though. They could still use Floyd without having to train him. You know, if they start, talking and Wilder starts going back and forth, because if I'm Wilder and I hear what Floyd says, the way he said it, I'm taking it as not disrespect, but like, I don't think he's out to help. You know what I'm saying? So, they could spark controversy for sure. They could go back and forth. Maybe Floyd takes a picture of $100,000 bet that he placed on Fury and post the picture. I mean, that would certainly generate buzz. That would certainly generate interest. And I could only imagine what ESPN would say if Floyd were to show an Instagram picture betting on Fury. You know what I mean? So start a controversy for buys, whatever, sure. But I just don't think it's in Wilder's best interest. If he's going to win this fight against Fury, he needs to be the same dedicated man that he is, because nobody's saying he doesn't work hard. He absolutely works hard. And he needs to go back to the drawing board. He needs to go back to the drawing board and figure this out with his team. That's the way he wins this fight.
So you're against this because you feel the credit will be given to Floyd other than Wilder if the win happens?
I am against it because Wilder has what it takes to beat Fury. I wouldn't pick him, and I think Fury wins a third fight, but Wilder has right now in him to do what he did in that 12th round. He has it in him, and he has it in him to do it at any point in a fight. Floyd, there's no connection there. There's no correlation to me between what Floyd can offer other than mental help, psychological help, other than that kind of therapeutic, stuff that goes into fight and goes into sports in general and the big stage. I don't see him helping, and I don't think he wants to.
I think that's a major point, though. We're not saying that Wilder needs it, but we've seen in sports and in boxing more and more sports psychologists, people to get the mind right before the big fight or in the lead up to the big fight. There's been rumors of Anthony Joshua bringing in sports psychologists and things like that and other athletes. So, maybe Floyd from a mental standpoint is still a good thing.
Okay, if that's the case, which I fully agree with you, Ness, sports psychology is such an important aspect of today's game. Call Tom Brady. Call LeBron James. Hey, who do you use? Because they all use someone. Call Durant. Call somebody that's been on that. Call Curry. Call somebody that's been on that stage and knows a sports psychologist that can help. Floyd Mayweather doesn't have that kind of training. That man can help you prepare for the big stage, but...
Okay, but yeah, a big-name sports psychologist that you got a recommendation from Tom Brady, that makes some headlines, maybe even mainstream, because you got some football writers that write some articles. But what's going to bring a bigger buzz to your fight? Tom Brady? Who's, Tom Brady or Floyd?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. But, you play it right. You go the Tom Brady route, the Durant route, the Curry route, and you snub Floyd, and brush him off. Who knows what kind of controversy that starts? So you could still use Floyd. You can manipulate.
But why?
Floyd to talk
but why snub him off? Why snub him off? Why not accept the olive branch if he's being the bigger man to bury the hatchet on whatever issues they had in the past? He could be using this opportunity to do what he did in 2018 and belittle him and talk about, I make more in retirement. He ain't saying that. Ever since the loss, he does sound supportive.
No, he doesn't. That's not supportive. To say that he's trained, I'll train him. That's Floyd saying this sport still needs me. That was the biggest fight of the year. That was the biggest fight in everybody's mind. That captured all the headlines. But guess what? The sport still needs me because that man needs me if he wants to win. That's how I hear it. Look, I've never been
because you're looking at it from like Money Mayweather standpoint,
I'm looking at it from Wilder's standpoint.
How Wilder's standpoint when it's Floyd's statement?
Because if anything that Floyd can help him with from a psychological standpoint, there are highly trained,
there's more than
people out there.
Brother, there's more than psychological that Floyd's bring to the table. Floyd was one of the first and probably still one of the only boxers that trains at night because you fight at night. So that's also psychological and physical because he was the first to decide that. Why am I getting up at 5 a.m? Am I running and am I fighting at 5 a.m? You know what I mean?
You're right.
So
you're right. That was
he
smart.
changes the game. There's things that he don't know. Everyone that trains with Floyd says the same thing. I never seen anyone train like him. Maybe that's what he brings. But let me stop going back and forth before we get to anyone else in terms of the host. Let me play the audio from Floyd.
Do you think Wilder will win in a rematch with Fury? If I train him, I can teach him how to win.
So I get you, Mario. I get you. I hear the sarcasm. I hear the cockiness, but that doesn't mean that it's not true. It doesn't mean that he can't teach him how to win. But it does sound different. It reads better than it sounds. If that
You're right. Yeah.
Perfectly
said.
He cloud chasing with that statement.
It reads better than it sounds because the way it sounds. Look, he said I could teach him how to win. He didn't say I could teach him how to beat Fury. I could teach him how to make adjustments. He said I could teach him how to win, as in he's a winner.
Not even that,
he's
man.
He's not a winner until he has Floyd on his
side. Yes. And I picked up on that, not on the end, but the first part. If I teach him, it wasn't if I teach him, he can win. It was if I teach him, like he needs me. He needs like
with arrogance.
Ooh, wow! We had to have the audio. It sounds so fucking fake now.
Don't it? I mean, I'm like, oh my goodness, good grief! Yeah. I think this ship has passed. But one thing that I do want to give my guy Wilder some props to, man. That video that you came out with confirming.
I have it.
I
have it. Let me go to it so then you be the first to give your thoughts on the audio. Where did I hide it? Damn it. Okay, it's over here.
Yeah, man, Floyd just he just rubs people the wrong way, man. Like the arrogance is just too much for me, man. Too much. If I teach, like, bruh, it ain't all about you all the time, man.
I'll put it to you this. I'm telling you, you're absolutely right. The way it's that inflection, and Ness captured the inflection really well. It's like if I train him, like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like he sounds like he's playing the Dazns when he's talking every time.
I thought I found it. Shit, I'm gonna have to re-up.
That's why I was talking about he was playing to the crowd. By that statement,
you're right.
Just that statement right there, like the arrogance, like yeah, bro, like because I beat Ricky Hatton, you know, like that's kind of like the impression that it gave you, like you dudes can't really beat American. And if I train him, like, bro, I teach him how to beat Fury, and it'll be easier. Like, I don't know, man. Floyd is just not one of those guys that likes to share the spotlight.
I mean, but do you do what he does and hold him to the audio? Bring him in anyway. Like, why can't no one else manipulate? Why is Floyd the king manipulator? Use him. Take his juice for pay-per-view bars. Listen, sometimes we swallow our pride for the greater good. And there's a greater good.
To help Wilder, because it wouldn't help. I think you'd be a distraction if he was in that camp.
How?
I think the moment he showed up, he's going to try to take the spotlight. He's going to talk to reporters. He's going to...
Honestly, it won't get that far, bro. It'll be another AJ Tyson Fury situation. I like to help.
That's a good example.
Fury, spar? I spar Fury.
Yeah.
Fury, come on, bring your ass on. Come on, AJ, come on in. You know what? Eddie said, you know, he don't think it was a good idea.
But that's good. So then his character gets assassinated live. If you're not a man of your word, if you're offering to help your fellow American, your fellow stablemate, because y'all on Heyman boxing, and then all of a sudden, when push comes to shove, you don't want to help. We see your true intentions. We know that it was just clout chasing, but here's the audio from Wilder.
Hello, my people. My Bomb Squad Army. My Bomb Squad Nation.
Man, I hope he means like 8 months.
No, because it's important that we play this audio as the rematch has been activated, and it looks like Fox and ESPN both agree that July 18th, which is
Told you, man,
is a complete shot at July 11th's Mikey versus Pacquiao. Now, I mean, not really. That's the zone. If they can really get it to land on the zone, good for us at $8 and some change, and then we just have to pay for Wilder Fury 3. But July 18th is the targeted date. It's looking like MGM Grand Arena is again the targeted location. It's going to be a low in sports, and it's the right void that both networks, Fox and ESPN, decided is the right time to push the fight. So thoughts on the fact that it's officially been announced that Wilder's activated the rematch from oh shit, perfect. Let me just call this guy. We got a super duper duper treat.
All right,
super
but yeah, I just
treat.
want to get back to the video right quick, bro. Man, the biggest thing that I took from that video, man, is something that he didn't say. It wasn't no bomb squad at the end. It wasn't that. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
Nah,
bro.
but that comes.
It was like deflated on my.
Nah, the reason.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm about business now, bro. All that shit, I don't need that. Like,
okay.
My mind is focused, you know what I'm saying? The war has just begun, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is not over with, you know what I'm saying? I will be back. I will be strong. I will regain my title. He ain't come out and make no excuses in this interview. One shit said about no damn uniform. One nothing said about Fury's gloves. One nothing that said. No excuse, not one thing. Everything he said in that thing showed me that his mind and his focus, it's on July 18th, man. Shit, I'm ready for it, bro. Let's go. That's the kind of stuff I like to hear from my champions, man.
Look, I didn't hear it that way, but now you saying it, I'm not gonna lie, I could get that. When I first heard it, it was on my Twitter, it was on my timeline. I was only listening to the audio, and I thought he sounded really deflated. I saw the video, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. That bomb squad shit to me was that cockiness and that confidence that a power puncher like Wilder needs to go in there and know that he can land that punch. And I know he knows that he can do that, So like I said before, Wilder has every tool necessary to win that Fury fight. And again, I don't pick him in a rematch or a trilogy fight, but I still think that he has those tools. He doesn't need any outside influences like Floyd Mayweather. He don't need anybody trying to jump on the jock and ride his coattails. Because to me, that's what Floyd's doing. And anybody else try to do the same, I would put them in the same category.
Yeah, and for people to say or to kind of insinuate that Wilder confidence was broke down, I didn't get that from that video. I seen somebody who was strong mentally. You know what I'm saying? Your
I
king
feel
is
you.
okay. He's in high spirits. You know, like I didn't see somebody who wants to conform or get outside of his character. Like this is Wilder always been a strong, confident guy, and he exuded that in that little clip that we played. And I mean, look, I don't want to draw comparisons to like AJ, but people thought AJ was broken at a point in time.
Great
These
point.
guys are these guys were champions for a reason. Like they have the opportunity to come back and get their belts back. AJ was able to do it, and I think Wilder can and will be able to do it too. You know what I'm saying? I think that loss to Fury put a lot of things back into perspective. You know what I'm saying? Put a lot of things back on the front burner that maybe had been on the back burner for a little while. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's gonna get back to it.
All right, my fellow co-host. Looks like we got a special treat. Former two-time world champion and analyst for both Sky Sports and Showtime. I give you Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie, man, this morning we're talking Floyd Mayweather and his latest statement out in Manchester, England, that if he trains Wilder, if he trains him, he can teach Wilder how to beat Fury. Good morning, first and foremost. Thank you for coming on the show. Always appreciate your time. What do you think about this statement?
I don't know. It kind of caught me off guard, but I think I think if you're Wilder, you have to try to take anything coming your way right now and try to make it into a positive. Whether the intention is positive or negative is up for debate, but I do think that you can kind of jump on the momentum of this. You know, Floyd is always Floyd in boxing. It's always when it's Floyd, anything to do with Floyd in boxing is always kind of what you can call positive publicity. You know, if you have any kind of involvement with Floyd in boxing, you know, so I think whether you agree with it or not, the point in time at this point in time, Wilder's image in boxing, obviously coming off a loss, he always dips a little bit. That's with any boxer, but I think he has a chance to kind of jump on this, whether he hires Floyd or not. I do think I am of the opinion that Breland should stay on first and foremost. I'm of the opinion that Breland is the guy for Deontay Wilder, but I do think you can sort of take this and kind of piggyback on it for a little bit as a positive, maybe for a week or two. Just kind of to change the subject matter of you got your ass kicked by Tyson Fury. The subject matter can now change over to the adjustments the adjustments Wilder can make. And you know what? He's got Floyd's blessing or whatever, even if he hires him or not. Just you want to change the subject matter. You want to change the way to discuss the topic of this, the way the topic is being discussed.
Hey, Paulie, it's Marty Mungia here. I just want to clarify this statement, okay? You're talking you're talking specifically from a financial and promotional standpoint, correct? You don't actually believe that Floyd could help him beat Fury like in a training camp, correct?
I don't think there's enough time. I don't think, if you're going to fight in July, I don't think there's a lot of changes you're going to be able to make, especially with a new trainer, So no matter who the trainer is, whether it's Floyd Mayweather or whether it's anybody else, I don't think there's enough time to make certain key adjustments. I mean, Deontay is what he is at this point. You can only adjust some very small, subtle things, and I don't know that the chemistry is developed enough with any new trainer in that short of a period of time. But I'm not talking about even from a financial standpoint. I'm talking about just from an image standpoint. This is something you can kind of latch onto as a subject matter. Like I said, I mean, I think the way to go, in my opinion, is to stay with Breland and stay with the team that's gotten him there. Stay even with Diaz, JD's. I know a lot of people have disagreed with Jay, and I also disagree with him, but I do think that the camaraderie of the team is important, and I think that has to be kind of fixed up because that's the team that's gotten him there, and I don't think that the reason for the loss falls onto any of the guys on that team. I think it more so falls onto the mindset Deontay had. I think Deontay just was living in a bit of denial even from the first fight. I don't think he was expecting any kind of to need to make any kind of big time adjustments to his style for the second fight, and obviously Fury made some definitive changes to his own style, and took the second fight more obvious outcome. But I think nonetheless the whole Floyd thing. I wouldn't say it's financials. I don't know what financial thing it brings you. I think it's more so. Yes, I think Floyd may have something in mind that he may want to say or do to Deontay in terms of stylistically. I think whether it's for Deontay or whether it's for Floyd, wanting to just keep his name out there, whatever it is, I do think it can be turned into something positive. Just in the way that it's discussed and the way you discuss the Fury Wilder subject matter. Because right now, if you discuss the Fury and Wilder subject matter, it's only negative discussions, and when you bring up Deontay Wilder, so I think you can sort of change the dynamic a little bit by bringing this into at the forefront. And whether you agree with it or not, I still think a change of discussion in the way this is being discussed is still a positive thing for Deontay.
How's it going, Mr. Malignaggi? My name is Michael Gross. My first question for you is, taking the financial aspect out of it, do you think it was a wise decision for Wilder to invoke the rematch? And did you have the same viewpoint for Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz?
I don't agree with the immediate rematch for Deontay Wilder against Tyson Fury. With the Joshua Ruiz fight, it's a bit different because that wasn't upset, and so you feel like you didn't do what you were supposed to. You feel like this was supposed to be made right, and I can make it right in the rematch. Now, granted, it wasn't the same destructive Joshua we've seen before in the rematch, but he did make the adjustments and he did make it right. And you sort of expected that. I mean, anybody that thought Ruiz was going to win the rematch, I kind of looked at them kind of funny, because I think my pick was Joshua always for that rematch, and I just felt like, he knew what he needs to do. He knows what he's going to have to do to beat this guy, because he was supposed to beat this guy the first time. The thing about Wilder and Fury was, yes, Deontay was favored the first time, but Fury always had the winner of Vladimir Klitschko in his back pocket, so you knew this was a guy who was capable of excelling to this level. And I think when the first fight happened, I mean, I think too many people were given too much credit for the knockdowns Wilder scored. I mean, Wilder was outclassed in the fight one. I mean, it was very obvious from anybody with a boxing eye that Wilder was outclassed in the first fight. But I think many of the people that were saying no, Wilder did not rob Fury in the first fight were probably just Wilder fans that had rooted for Wilder in that first fight. So when you have a rooting interest, you sort of make your eyes see something that it probably didn't see. While if you take a neutral standpoint in that fight, you probably realize Fury outclassed him in the first fight. So I think in being knocked out this time, it's sort of becoming apparent that it's a guy you might not be able to beat. And I'm not saying you cannot beat him if you make some adjustments, but I think at this point, with the second fight, it's more apparent than the first fight in the way that he knocked you out now. So now whether you didn't want to believe or not that he was better than you, now you have no choice but to believe that he's better than you. And so there are definitive adjustments you have to make, whereas in the first fight, you may not have thought the adjustments had to be so drastic because you felt like you won the first fight, Enough groupies convinced you that you won the first fight because, anybody with an eye, like I said, knows he didn't win the first fight and wasn't even close. But I think to invoke this rematch right away, I have mixed feelings because I more lean towards the no because, I don't think you can make those adjustments, even psychological. You have to kind of get over it psychologically that you were knocked out. And I don't know that you can get over it that fast. Yes, Joshua was knocked out as well, but Joshua, again, lost to a guy that everybody felt he was supposed to beat. And he kind of could just make it right. This fight was different. Fury was more dangerous. Fury was always going to be more dangerous than Ruiz was going to be to Joshua, So Fury now becomes more dangerous because now he's knocked you out after beating you the first time to begin with, or beating you in most people's eyes the first time. So you sort of have to make several adjustments from a physical standpoint and also obviously from a psychological standpoint. I don't know that you have enough time to do that. The competitive fire in you is burning, and I think that's a good thing. I agree with the stoppage of the fight, but I also love Deontay's mentality in that, he doesn't want to be stopped. He doesn't want that fight stopped, and he feels like it shouldn't be stopped ever. I mean, that's a fighter through and through. That's a fighter to the core, and I don't disagree with a fighter's mentality. But of course, from the outside looking in, yes, I also agree the fight should be stopped. should have been stopped. So you have to kind of get over all these things, and I don't know that you would do that right away. But there's a last but here. Deontay's not the youngest guy. You know what I mean? So if you're going to jump on this, and you're going to jump on it, you do have to think of it financially. You do have to think of it financially from a standpoint that, you've got to kind of grab this by the horns while you're still at a prime age, because, age can slow you down. Deontay's at an age where, it can start to show itself really soon. So you don't want to waste time either. So I think there's points for both sides. I more tend to lean towards probably letting Fury and Joshua have fought first and then fighting the winner. But, that would have also left some political things in the way, because Pulev would have definitely demanded his mandatory spot against Joshua, and he would have been sort of in the cold, and that would have been a problem. So I guess in the end, you do it this way and see what happens. But I think it's going to be very hard for Deontay to win in the summer fight. I just think he needs more time. I don't think it's impossible for Deontay to beat Fury, but I think there are a lot of things he has to adjust, and now he knows that too, and I don't know that you have enough time.
Paulie, do you think we are removed from Wilder being able to one-punch knock out Fury?
No. I mean, the first fight shows us anything. It's that he's obviously capable of at least almost doing it. So if he's that close to doing it, it can happen. It's just now. Hello, sorry guys. It's just now that the problem is that you've got to deal with the possibility of this guy putting you on the back foot, and how do you deal with that? Because Deontay's not the same kind of puncher when he's fighting but going backwards. He can counter you with a good right hand, but he still has to set his feet on that counter. And Fury had him backing up a lot.
I couldn't think of a better way to say what you said about the fight and what Wilder should do. I completely agree with you. There's opposition on both sides, and I don't think he should take the fight right away, especially in July. But let's put you in the promoter seat for just a second. Bottom line, do you think that it would be smarter to come back against a guy that, a softer touch? Do you keep him in there with at least a top 15 guy, stay competitive? What would you suggest the next move be?
I think Deontay Wilder right now, I still believe he's still the number 2 heavyweight in the world. I don't care how he lost that fight. I still believe that he was not ruined in that fight. There's a chance you get ruined if you maybe let the fight continue. There's a chance you get ruined if you do the third fight right now, But as of right now, and this is just only my opinion, because it's possible that maybe some of him was ruined. We don't know. We don't see what's going on. But in my opinion, I still have him as a firm number 2 in the weight class. With respect to AJ and Dillian White, who I also think are legitimately top guys. But I think that. I don't know. I think that from a promoter standpoint, again, you're looking at it from the same perspective that I mentioned before. You're also thinking about it from a financial standpoint. Promoters are the businessmen, and it's not wrong to think that way. But it's not wrong to think that way. But I just think also that a fighter himself has to think a little bit differently sometimes. For the promoter, you're just a product, and everybody makes like that's a bad thing. Listen, we're not family here. For the promoter, the fighter's a product. That's just the way the business is structured. But the fighter sometimes has to also consider the other intangibles as well.
I wanted to ask, how do you think Breland and Floyd would mesh in a perfect world? Wilder's already said he's not.
I think that's an irrelevant question, because you're going to bring a million chiefs and not enough Indians to the table now. If you bring in another guy, if you bring Breland, you bring JD. Everyone wants to shit on JD, but JD is also the guy that has been with Deontay from the first moment he was in the gym. So you have to understand where JD is coming from when he says, "Oh, they shouldn't have stopped the fight." I don't agree with airing everything out publicly. I'll say that, but you have to understand when you are with a guy from the moment he jumped in the gym to the point where he's at now. You've seen him do everything. You've seen him learn to throw his first jab to the point where now he's a heavyweight champion of the world. So in your mind, anything is possible, to the point where you're almost in denial about it. And I do think JD was in denial about the fact that the fight shouldn't have been stopped, only because he thinks somebody with Deontay's power should always be given a chance. But the problem is there was no power left on Deontay. Like, the only time you see fatigued fighters scoring knockouts is when the opponent is also fatigued. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, a shot lands, and a fatigued guy lands a big shot on another fatigued guy, and he's out. Tyson Fury was fresh as a daisy. So, in the meantime, Deontay's power was probably diminished by at least half by that point in the fight, because he was so tired and he was so exhausted already. So you were not going to get a knockout anyway. So it was just going to be a beating from here on out. But I do think, going back to what I was saying, that Jay's still been there from the beginning, and he brings something to the table. And I just think that they have to figure out a way to work it out together, and definitely keep the dirty laundry within the team. I don't think, if you're keeping this team together, if you're bringing in Floyd, I just think you have to revamp everything, if that's what you're going to do. But I do think if you're going to keep this team together, I don't think it's, you don't want to bring in too many Chiefs and not enough Indians, because, I think you're only going to cause more confusion.
Paulie, looking at the heavyweight landscape, do you think there's anybody out there that can really defeat Tyson Fury?
I don't, but I do think there's fighters out there that can test him. I mean, I think Deontay can test him. I think, there's fights that are interesting. I just think in the end, Fury comes out on top of all of them. I don't think he's quite as dominant as Vladimir Klitschko was in his prime. I think Vladimir is very underrated in his prime, but I do think Fury is above everybody else. But unlike the Klitschko era, I do think there's guys that are competitive with Fury. And, you have to at least bring up the conversation that he could be beat. I just don't think they beat him, but I don't think the fights are boring, and I don't think the fights are definitively Fury wins. I would always pick Fury against any heavyweight right now, for sure. But I don't think I'd pick him as easily as I always felt Vladimir Klitschko was going to beat his opponents. Vladimir in his prime was that good, but people don't really see it or appreciate it. Fury's also very good for other reasons, his own style, his own size and everything. But I think there's also fighters that can compete with him. Maybe not beat him, but definitely compete with him. And I think Deontay's one of those guys. It's just timing is everything.
How do you think Anthony Joshua fares against Tyson Fury?
I think it's a good fight. And I think, it deserves a chance to be spoken about and maybe even happen, But I think Fury, it's going to be very difficult to beat Fury right now, for many reasons. But I do think, Joshua is not a dumb fighter. I do think Joshua can be a cerebral fighter. Listen, he made an adjustment with Ruiz, and some people are saying, oh, you know what, the way he fought like that, he fought so scared and whatnot. Maybe that was just the adjustment just to get a W and look good next time, I've seen Joshua look terrific in some fights. So I do think, you give me the best Joshua against the best Fury, it's a good fight. I think Fury wins. I think it's a good fight.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't even gonna ask this question, Paulie, but I just feel like, I don't know, you've given some answers that I really resonate with me. So I'm just curious to hear what you have to say. And I know I've seen some stuff that you said in terms of tweets and stuff, but the negativity that's come from this fight on all ends is to me crazy. And it's not like it hasn't happened before in boxing, but with, social media and the way that people talk these days and the way that news travels, how disappointing is it for you, Paulie Malignaggi, as a former fighter, as a broadcaster, just as a person who appreciates the sport? How disappointed is it for you to watch a fight like that was so monumental and that it delivered on so many levels, and then to have the backlash from fans, about gloves and about costumes and about who won and who was trash and who was always a bum, and how disappointing is that?
Well, I think the social media era has not created any geniuses, let's face it. If somebody's smart, they're going to be smart without social media. If somebody's dumb, is going to be dumb without social media. It's just the problem with social media, and for all the good intentions that there might be behind social media, the problem is every idiot has a platform now. And, I think we always knew there was more idiots than geniuses in the world. I mean, the being a genius is a rare thing. There's more dumb people than smart people in this world. But it's just now, there's no difference. With social media, everybody has the same kind of platform. So everybody can kind of put it out there and discuss. And so I think it's more magnified because it reaches out more with social media. But I think this kind of thing was always out there. I mean, can you imagine, like, if there was social media during the Mike Tyson era, the kind of conversation that would have been there, like Mike Tyson could be God himself, you know what I mean? Like, so it would have been the same thing. People fall in love with certain fighters, and whatever it is, and then they kind of just go to war with each other on social media. I just think you have to take everything with a grain of salt, and just, keep it moving. You have to take social media for what it is. It's a great marketing tool, but yes, a lot of dumb stuff can be put out there on a platform that makes people who read it dumber. So I try not to read too much into social media, because if I read too much into social media, I'm going to get dumber, and I don't want to get dumber.
Paulie, my last one is obviously the power of social media means news travels rapidly. Have you seen any of these
instantaneously?
Exactly. Have you seen any of these videos with the floppy gloves and the alleged allegations of tampered gloves on Fury's lead hand?
Yeah. I've seen some dumb stuff in my life, but that's kind of one of the things that makes me say, wow, we're getting dumber. Like, humanity is getting dumber. Like, especially with like all the ways of researching things, and now in school and education, you figure, like, with all these options, you figure you create more smart people, but they're actually getting dumber. And that was like one of the proof that's actually an example of how humanity is getting dumber. The fact that somebody actually came up with that excuse and then broadcasted it out there and latched onto things. That might be one of the, not just one of the dumbest things in boxing, that might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my entire lifetime. One of the dumbest. That was because you're a lot of times I used to flick out shots like that, because a lot of times you're flicking off shots just to take the power off them, and also to switch up the speed on the shot, because you're looking to distract the guy by flicking shots, and then you're closing your hand on the power shot that you distracted from with the flick shots. The flick shots are basically the distraction to set up the power shot. So a lot of times, like a flick double jab with an open glove for a right hand that comes in the middle, that's with a closed glove and hard, is basically a standard method of setting punches up, you know? Or you can show, like in that highlight, they showed the jab, left hook, right hand. It's 3 punches, but the only punch you care about that lands in that succession is the right hand. The first 2 are decoy shots. So therefore, if it's a decoy shot, it just has to give the impression that it's a hard shot or that it's a dangerous punch, because you have to convince your opponent that the decoy is dangerous. Otherwise, he's not going to fall for the decoy to be set up for the hard shot. So sometimes you don't completely close your glove on decoy shots. You kind of just flick them over like that because you don't care. They're decoys. You're not wasting energy on them. You just want them. You're trying to sell the product. So it's basically an illusion, like a magician. But everybody knows a magician sells illusions, and at the end of the day, it's not real. It's an illusion. This moron or these morons bought the illusion as reality. The fighter is supposed to buy it in the instant if he falls for the trap. You know, that's the whole point of setting traps in a boxing match is, you know, you're trying to sell the illusion to the fighter in the instant. But actually, when you step outside the ring, get to look at it, review it, you're supposed to be able to tell the illusion from the reality. You know what I mean? And these are people that watch boxing. This is why this is a very difficult sport to be an expert at. And I don't care how many fights a person watches or how many years they've been watching the sport. It's very difficult to be an expert at all levels because of things like this. Like the fact that you can't figure that out. I mean, for me, that was standard stuff. But I've done this for, you know, through and through for many years. It's very, to me, it just boggles my mind that was even brought up. Not to mention the fact that the inspectors are on you like hawks ever since the glove tampering back in the 80s with what was that fight? Or the
Resto?
When the guy got with the Louis Resto fight. Yeah. Back then, I mean, the guys in commissions like Vegas, New York, Texas, California, the big commissions, they're on you like hawks over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're watching you as you get gloved up. Not to mention are they watching you. There is a representative from the other camp that also comes in and watches you get gloved up. So in order for this to be bought, you have to also buy into the fact that whoever was there for Wilder's team to watch Fury get gloved up was in on this whole thing. Like, it's beyond moronic that I don't even think it should be given another second after the sentence that we speak about it.
Well, obviously, you got to couple in the theory of the cameras going off, right? They're selling the glove video with the cameras going off.
What do you mean the camera going off?
During the telecast, Joe Chesator says, let's go to Fury's locker room. And then as they go to Fury's locker room, a Fury team stands and tries to cover the camera with a shirt. When that doesn't work, he just pulls the plug on the camera. Chesator repeats it and laughs it off. And now they're saying that's when the illusion took place.
Yeah, but you still have the representative from Wilder's team. You cannot glove up without the representative from the other team in your locker room. It doesn't happen. It's not allowed. If you glove up without the representative, or if you wrap up without the representative from the other team, they'll make you do it again. They'll make you take everything off and do it again. Like we've seen this already, even with hand wrapping hand wrapping controversies where the guys wrapped their hands and nobody was there, and so when the representative from the team came in, they said, "No, you got to cut the wrap off and re-wrap." The same thing with the gloves. You have to glove up in front of a representative of the commission and also a representative from the opponent's team. You have to be there. So. The camera doesn't matter. It's not for the fans to dictate. It's for the other team to dictate. The opposing fighter's team to dictate. You know, they saw the guy get his gloves on. It's obvious. It's the rule.
Paulie, how much credit should we be giving Sugar Hill Stewart for the way Tyson Fury was able to perform and pretty much execute the game plan? Because we had him on the show the week of the fight, and he told Ness like straight up, I trained for the knockout, and that's exactly what they got.
Yeah, I mean, Sugar Hill is the kind of guy who obviously comes from the Kronk family, and I think that the fighters like that have fighters with the build of a Fury, tall guys with long arms, height and reach advantages. They specialize well with the Kronk family. You know, ever since the Emmanuel Stewart days, and of course that Kronk family, when they mentioned the Emmanuel Stewart days, they specialize with that height because, they want to extend that power shot and with the cross and get those big knockouts, which a lot of those fighters were that kind of fighter, that style of fighter. So I think you bring in the mentality. I think Fury was always a very good fighter, but he wanted I think he also wanted the camaraderie with Emmanuel as well, because Emmanuel was also training Tyson Fury earlier in his career. I remember I fought a fight underneath the Hopkins versus Pascal, one undercard in Quebec City, Canada, and me and Tyson Fury shared a locker room because we were both on the undercard. And I remember Emmanuel was Tyson Fury's trainer that night. So I think maybe he figured also bringing some experience in the mold of the style that he was working on with Emmanuel. First of all, I think Ben Davison did a great job. I think, the more I hear Ben Davison talk, the more intelligent I think he is when it comes to tactics and boxing. But I do think he wanted probably somebody with experience, and somebody with experience that he could relate to. And I think Sugar Hill is definitely an experienced trainer, a world-class trainer, and a guy that, being that he had there's the connection with Emmanuel, Tyson Fury would be able to relate to. And yeah, Sugar Hill definitely goes for the knockout. I mean, there's a guy that trained Adonis Stevenson who had almost all knockout defenses.
Well, Paulie, that is all our questions.
No.
Oh.
I want to change gears and talk about Mikey Garcia over this past weekend. Were you able to see the Garcia and Vargas fight? And if you were, how do you think Garcia is going to fare with Manny Pacquiao if he's able to get that fight?
I think it was a good fight. I think the Pacquiao fight's interesting as well. I thought they both put on a good fight. I thought Jesse's got one of the best chins in boxing, and Mikey was able to put him down. But obviously Jesse not only has a chin, but he has a lot of character. So he got through it. And I thought Jesse honestly did really well in the early rounds too, and even some of the late rounds. I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was a competitive fight. I wouldn't mind seeing Pacquiao and Garcia, I suppose, but I do think Mikey has to be a little bit less hittable against a Pacquiao.
Do you think Mikey can pull the upset? Because look, I'm of the mindset the way Pacquiao jumps in and the way he throws all those punches, and Mikey's so good at timing guys and like catching on to the way you throw your punches. I think he may be able to catch Pacquiao with something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a possibility, but also the confidence you have from timing guys comes from how little you're getting hit too. If you start to get hit again and again and again, your confidence in reacting to the guy's offense is going to be taken away from you because you're going to be thinking more about, wow, that guy's cracking me and this doesn't feel good. So you're going to start to suddenly hesitate on your counter shots, on your timing shots. So I think it also depends on Mikey's ability to be solid defensively early on, because if he starts taking shots from Pacquiao early, I mean, Pacquiao's got some good power, and it'll stay in his mind. And once the power is on your mind, even if you're not knocked out, it's going to create different kind of reactions from maybe the norm. It's going to create doubt. It's going to create self-doubt. So I think it's all dependent on Mikey's ability to be fundamental, stay fundamentally sound, and also make sure that the power of Pacquiao is not too much on his head, because he hasn't taken too much of it as he's trying to time him correctly. Because I do think Mikey's a terrific timing fighter, but of course he's also a little bit too hittable, because sometimes he's a bit too squared off and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, you know what? It'd be interesting to find out. Let's put it that way.
And my very last one, is there any way Billy Joe Saunders can get a decision in Vegas if that fight becomes official?
I don't think so. No, I think the funniest thing about the Canelo contract is not only is he guaranteed $35 million a fight by Dazn, but he's also never going to be at risk of losing that contract because he's never going to lose a fight unless you knock him out, and he's got a great chin. So this is like the most guaranteed money you can get. It's amazing. Like it's beyond belief. Like usually you get big contracts, but you're always at risk because you're fighting top opposition. You could lose the contract. The contract could be adjusted. You could get released. All that other good stuff that comes with being rewarded with a big money contract. This contract is like bulletproof. You can't. You guarantee $35 million a fight, and you also can't lose, no matter what. Even if you lose, you can't lose. So this is like the best of the best.
Wait.
I don't think Saunders can get a decision. No.
What do you mean? Even if you lose, you don't?
Because if you win, to put it like Joey LaMotta told Jake LaMotta and Raging Bull, if you win, you win. If you lose, you still win. You can't lose. You understand me? You understand me?
Definitely.
You guys have seen Raging Bull? Okay. Have you also seen some of Canelo's decisions? You've also seen some of Canelo's decisions in Vegas? Okay. And let me say, Canelo is a very, very good fighter. He's one of the best fighters in boxing today. I'll admit that, which is what makes it more difficult to handle, is because not only are you dealing with the fact that you're fighting a world-class fighter, which is Canelo, you're also dealing with the fact that you're fighting a world-class fighter who you have to beat so comprehensively that only to hope to get a decision. Because let's face it, the Golovkin first fight was a comprehensive win, and he still didn't get it. So you're fighting a guy who's a handful to begin with just on the fact they're trying to beat him, because Canelo is a handful to beat to begin with because he's that good. But then on top of it, you're dealing with, in the event that you are that good, that you're able to beat Canelo, you're still not going to get a decision anyway. So it's very difficult. You're just kind of showing up for the check and then hoping to look good. Maybe you'll get a rematch out of it and get robbed again. Who knows? That's basically your best bet.
All right. Well, Paulie, man, I want to thank you, obviously, for taking out the time. We always appreciate you coming on the show, man. Wish you the best. Have you heard anything of Impact Network before I let you go?
No, not much. I know the trial fight he trotted for on Impact Network. I haven't heard a lot about any of this or how it works and whatnot. It's kind of a lot of new things in boxing. Let's see.
Are you still with Showtime?
Yeah, even though nobody watches us. I think, yes, I'm with Showtime. Yes, those are my guys.
The number's been down.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think we need to be given some fights. I do think our last broadcast wasn't bad. The last main event, anyway, wasn't bad. I think the fighter from Mongolia, Tugstad, he was an Olympic silver medalist. I think it was a good fight with him and Gary Russell. A good solid fight, but just not enough people, appreciate Gary Russell, and nobody knew who Tugstad was. But it was a good fight between two world-class fighters. But I do think we need to get more recognized fighters so that people will want to tune in when they know the fights are on.
For sure.
Last question: are you still doing the Ultimate Boxer, and if so, when's the next season, and what weight class will it be?
Yeah. Well, yeah, though, we're still doing Ultimate Boxer, and I tell you, I have yet to not be entertained when I work on Ultimate Boxer night. It's, the format is terrific, and it's terrific for anybody because you're taking out the feel-out process of any fight. That means any moron who wants to watch a fight will understand what's going on. You don't have to be a boxing expert to watch Ultimate Boxer, but a boxing expert always obviously loves action as well, so it's boxers you're still fighting, so I think it's doing well. I still work with them. And the next one is on April the 3rd, in Manchester on April the 3rd. As it continues to gain momentum and recognition, they eventually want to bring this format to other countries as well. And it's growing in England, and I think anybody really would be entertained by it. And I think I look forward to continuing to work with them.
All right, I think that's it. So I want to thank you once again. Paulie, if you want to give out your social media, you can do so. But, man, just thank you for always taking out the time to talk some boxing with us. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm at Paul Malignaggi on Twitter and on Instagram. It's just a simple at Paul Malignaggi. And like I said before, check out Ultimate Boxer on April 3rd.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Paulie. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. world-renowned commentator, two-time champion, and I guess promoter now. He's promoting Ultimate Fighter. Or is he broadcasting that?
I think he got like some investment in it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
he's definitely doing his thing. And he bare knuckle fought one time too. So
yeah, he definitely has been staying busy. But man, that the insight he provided was just really, really great. I feel he's exactly right about Wilder. Yeah, of course. I just feel like his opinion, like he broke it down in a way that makes total sense. And yes, I'm not gonna lie, before he even said any of that stuff, that's exactly how I felt for most of the part. But I just think he articulated it well, that no matter how you feel about Wilder, you have to agree he made some incredible points about whether he should be fighting so soon in the rematch, and you know how he should kind of go on from here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We'll see though. I mean, I still think Fury, man. I think he's definitely beatable. You know, I think Wilder can do it. And I also think AJ, just based off his boxing acumen, you know what I'm saying? He's a good boxer. We normally don't see Fury knock guys out. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that just was well, if Fury comes in at 270 again, man, that's a big guy. 6'9", 270. That's a big human being.
Big guy. We didn't go to the sponsors, right? Let's do that. Get out to these callers.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Yeah, man, I got some texts and some calls to some other special guests, man, hoping we could get some things popping. But in the meantime, we got plenty of special guests who call in daily, and we appreciate each and every one of those. So before we go out to the callers,
remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
All right, we're going to get on out to Mastermind in the New Orleans. What up?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you a young fella, and he comes from the Magnolia.
N.O., you on that road, champ? Going once.
Audio sound, you hear me?
Going once.
What's good? What's good, man? Check me out. How my audio sound, bro? Decent?
It's
all right?
decent. It's decent.
Yeah,
all right. I ain't gonna hold you up too long then, bro. I had a couple of phone calls, but I basically got what the show about today. It's about Floyd on the internet cabin right now. I think, look, I'm gonna tell you. I think Floyd just want to make sure he one of the main promoters in this fight. That's what I think this is all about. I don't really think it's about, because he never showed interest in Deontay Wilder before this. I think he just want to promote the fight. It did good numbers. It made a lot of money. He won't be a part of. That's all it really is, because I don't like why I can see him wanting to train Anthony Johnson. I take that seriously. He'd have said AJ because he got a relationship with AJ. He never showed that with Wilder. So that's all I got on that. If I'm wrong, y'all can let me know. I mishav the show. Cut
it. Nah, you pretty much on par there. You doing well with it. Let's go out to the newest Boomerang. Trey, want to thank you first and foremost for stepping up to Boomerang status.
Hey, come back to me. My background too loud.
All right. Well, going out to the next Boomerang in J-Mac.
You know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I'm a gorilla, I'm a dog. I'm a dog, I'm a gorilla.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from Derek.
You can't be the boogeyman if I'm chasing him. You want to bet?
You bet 100,000 on that.
Let's bet $1 million.
Easy. Let's bet $1 million.
J Mag, what up, homie? I heard they call you young Tukey Williams out here. J Mac, man, unmute. Are you there? Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. There is no J Mac. But if you're listening right now on YouTube, take a second out. Come on, y'all. We got 207 thumbs up, bro. I need more thumbs up than that, man. Look, I don't want to tell you guys what to do, but I would very much appreciate if you would take a second out and smash that thumbs up button. Costs you nothing. Doesn't take much effort, but it really helps the show grow and helps us get a bigger audience and helps us reach to the fans that are looking for a show that's going to give them information and entertainment. And that's us, man. So go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. But yeah, Mario, at first, I thought, you know what I'm saying, you were being kind of hard on Floyd. But now, after hearing the audio, I really got to say, yeah, man, this guy, he's not genuine with it. He's not sincere. He sounds like he has a lot of arrogance, and I don't know if that's a good thing to bring into your camp.
Nah, man, it definitely feels like he's kind of kicking him while he's down a little bit, and Wilder deserves more than that. He's done more for the sport than that, and Floyd's got to give him that respect at this point. Like, I can't see how he wouldn't.
He said I never unmuted him. Oh, all right, my bad, J Mac. Go ahead.
What up, J Mac?
Yo, you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First and foremost, champ, pleasure meeting you. Thanks for coming out to Border Wars, helping out. J-Mac judged numerous of the fights. He was a perfect gentleman, straight up G, good guy, built like a house. So watch what you say. My man's like a fucking football player. But what's up, champ?
Hey, not much, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for the shout out. I definitely enjoyed the event. It was a high energetic event. I was talking to Israel about it, Israel Weber about it. We both were speaking on how it's as a fighter, as a former fighter, somebody that been in the ring before, the energy was real. Like when you stepped in there, you see dudes walking around, they're still respectful, but you can still feel that energy, like, you know, just going through your veins and all that stuff. Definitely enjoy myself. Definitely, I must say, it's very respectful, like how the guys was, like how everybody carried themselves. I know me and you had some back and forth, but at the end of the day, it's just boxing, it's just passion. We just get caught up on our topics. Enjoyed the fight this weekend. I already gave you my rundown with Mikey. I'm gonna stick to the topic. Floyd, I think it's clout chasing. Definitely how when the audio came out, you can tell how he just want. The Floyd still I'm like that point. I feel like
J-Mac, I love you. And I gave you more time because I said, yo, he showed up to Border War. But yeah, man, you on that road and you are like straight up R2-D2 from Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? It's just R2-D2 from Star Wars. It's all good. We're going to come back to you, though. We're going to go to new caller. Evan, talk to me. Skype.
What up, Evan?
Hey, what's up? Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Alright. Shit. No, that Mikey Garcia fight was cool. I'm kind of bothered by how he's like refusing to go down though, but that's beside the point. With this Wilder thing, it just feels, I don't know, man. Like anytime I'm at the gym myself or just watching the team, I feel like every 5 minutes you learn some new stuff in the ring, and he has a lot to learn with Fury, man. Like it's not that the team can't do it. I think every fighter has one kryptonite. They can beat 99.9% of fighters, but there's that one whose style they just need to bring in other people. I don't know if Floyd's the answer to that. Does TMT really have any big heavyweights that would help with that?
I mean, big heavyweights to help out with what? With training camp?
Yeah, like to get in there and practice as if it were Fury, you know, get good.
Well,
I know they'll bring sparring.
Yeah, they'll bring in
He's a
sparring.
multi-millionaire. He bring anybody he want in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know.
I think what he's
Floyd
asking is like, does Floyd have access to like a talent pool that would open him up?
I got my own access.
I mean, but between,
what does he bring to the table?
But listen, you know? Anthony Joshua was receiving, and Evan, thank you. Anthony Joshua was receiving DMs about help. I mean, I'm pretty sure Floyd and Wilder can come up with sparring partners. That doesn't seem difficult. You know, people are going to be dying to get in that camp.
If you want the blueprint on how to get sparring partners, man, go ask Vlad. How much you paying Vlad? How many will you? Because he was getting everybody over there. Any everybody that was coming up or Vlad wanted to spar with, he got them. So I think once you get to a certain point in your career and you can afford it, and because you made the money, sparring partners should never be an issue.
Yes, sir. Let's go out to Ringer in Detroit. Rel, what up? Rel.
Yo.
What's good?
Yo, Ness, thank you for the Paulie Malignaggi interview. It was a great interview.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, champ.
Yes, sir. Before I touch up on the Floyd Mayweather topic, I want to go to Fury. Okay, so Fury adjusted with Sugar Hill for the second Deontay Wilder fight, in which he previously had experience with Emmanuel Stewart. He never had experience with Sugar Hill, but he knew what he wanted to do. Now going into Floyd Mayweather, I feel like if Floyd wanted to disrespect Deontay Wilder, he would have. He don't bite his tongue for nobody. You know, he does come off as a sarcastic person because he's such a decorated champion. But I feel like it's a minor adjustment that Deontay Wilder has to make to win his fight. We know he got the power, and I feel like Floyd can help him with that. Instead of him going directly backwards, you know what I'm saying, walking directly backwards how he did in the part 2 fight, I feel like Floyd would teach him how to step side by side to isolate Fury's right hand and slow Fury down. Because really that's all Wilder has to do. He got to make a minor adjustment. So personally, I feel like Wilder should keep his team, keep everybody he's been working with. But if Floyd wants to come in camp to show him how to angle himself in the ring, step side to side instead of going straight back, because that was his downfall. He's so used to having reach. He got a reach span of 83 inches. Tyson Fury has a reach span of 85 inches. So it was shocking. Cut it.
Going. What happened?
I was gonna say you can't be too shocked that you just fought him the first time. Casual Bass guy comes in with a super chat and says, TBV, shout out to all Border Wars fighters. Updates? Check out Patreon, man. We'll definitely be uploading that video soon. My bad.
BoxingWords.com.
Oloki, you are next, my friend. Por eso lo vuelvo a repetir. La era del Canelo es la mejor porque peleó con los mejores. La suerte es para los mediocres, my friend.
BoxingWords.com.
Supermax, you there?
Yo.
Yeah, man. Whatever Bluetooth you using ain't working today, champ. One of your kids threw that shit in the pool. What?
Yo.
Are
you sure it's not just my voice?
Oh, I guess.
You know I lost it though.
You hoarse from all the yelling in the Border Wars?
The yelling, commentating, yelling at the Mikey fight, yelling at XFL. But, you know, I got to call in. And first of all, I'm glad you made it home safe, Ness, Mario. It was good seeing everybody. Always a great time. Can't wait to do it again. But I'm on par with the guys as far as I don't think Floyd was being genuine. I feel like he's kind of, you know, just trolling. He's a master troll. But if he was to come to camp, I wouldn't do it for the training aspect because, you know, like Paulie said, you don't need too many guys trying to be the head guy. You need one voice in the corner. But as far as dealing with the anxiety and the pressure of a big fight, like you said, Ness, I think that's something that could go a long way because it does seem to get to him, especially with his Fury fight. It's a big deal. The second fight was even bigger. So maybe that's something that could help as a mental aspect, but I don't think he can bring anything to Deontay's game because Deontay's not a traditional fighter. He's the kind of guy that needs to play to his strengths and diminish his weaknesses as little as possible. He's got to press forward in the Fury fight. But other than that, I'm going to say whatever voice I got left for now and hit you up on later on, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for calling in, Supermax. Who's up next? Looking like JP, Long Beach. What up?
Back family. You back. You sounding like you hate Mayweather's guts. But I'll back up with what my man Real said. Tyson Fury went out there and sought after some fake Emmanuel Stewart dude we never heard of. We all gave him shit for it, and it worked. It wasn't about him changing anything. It was him picking up things tactically, and that's more of a psychological approach. I think that Wilder, we're often thrown off by Mayweather. He rubs everybody the wrong way. I don't know why a man's unvalidated confidence, but Mayweather's confidence is validated, but his confidence rubs people the wrong way. I don't know why, but the confidence is backed up by sheer hard work and determination and putting your money where your mouth is. I think Deontay could use some of that, also some hard work, and maybe just some psychological pointers, man. That stuff tends to go a long way. I think Fury benefited from it. It rarely happens that a great athlete.
Cut it. You know, real quick, I'll say this to JP. I absolutely agree with him in the sense that Floyd Mayweather's validated, his boisterousness is validated for sure. But imagine if LeBron came out on ESPN and said, if they said, oh, do you think the Denver Nuggets could win the championship? And he was like, yeah, with me. Or let's say like the Clippers. Well, with me, yeah, they could win, knowing that they got quiet, knowing all those things. I mean, it would rub anybody the wrong way. This man isn't. It's not about whether he's right or wrong. It's about the way he chose to approach it and the inflection in his voice. He was trolling, man, and that's what rubs me the wrong way.
All right. Civilian 11, talk to me.
Yeah, man. I just want to say that if the people that are living now was living during World War I, would have been in a fucked up situation. People are so weak and sentimental. Anything rubs people the wrong way. Yeah, he might need Floyd, but if he does use Floyd and Floyd help him out, Floyd will throw it in his face. So that won't happen. And one thing about Wilder, man, I just like, dude, do you believe the shit that you say? Like that whole speech and Instagram post. I'm like, how many times did it take him to practice that before he got to the final result? Like, you're not William Wallace or Shaka Zulu. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you just got your ass whooped, and nobody is your fucking we are not you're not a king. Like, we're not your people.
Your disciples. Your disciples.
Yo, that was hilarious. I love that call. Nice. Well said.
Yeah. Let's see. We're going to try our boomerang Trey once again. What up? Just listening for right now. Look, all good. All good. If
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Alrighty then. I guess not.
Hello?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
We do.
Yep. Oh, okay. I don't know, man. You never know with that dude. He control it. Mario, it don't sound like you care that much about Wilder, huh? And that's it, man. That's my call.
Okay. Yeah, well, if y'all didn't know, Mario isn't the biggest Wilder fan, and he and Wilder have gone back and forth. Wilder sent him a little message. I don't know if you even did. You ever get to see that? How did you react to that? Because you weren't even around.
You know what, man? Honestly, I thought it was funny. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. It was funny, and definitely
you was like, oh shit, I bet, right?
Yeah,
because
like,
I didn't even expect him to say. He just came out of nowhere, yo. That was hilarious.
But a lot of it, I think, was just I don't know. I don't want him to think I never gave him the respect that he deserves, and that's what to me this whole show is about. Is in my opinion, Floyd, the validation for Floyd because he's so good, but he's not returning that validation for what Wilder did. So I just thought it was a misunderstanding. I ain't got no problems with him. I sent him a message after the loss, just saying that, I thought he was a warrior in there, and there's no hard feelings at all. I respect that man for sure.
All right, let's get on out to New Orleans.
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. Come on. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. We're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll kill this mother.
Why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
What's up, yo? What's up, Mike? What's up, Ness?
What up? What up?
Yeah, man. I think Floyd can't say he clout chasing because he always in the limelight. But me personally, it kind of remind me of when Adrian Broner lost. I mean, no disrespect to Wilder, two different levels on levels. But when Adrian Broner lost, he gave out that little positive message. But I think he that fight, he don't want to see nobody else on top like himself or undefeated. And I just feel like he always had some hate towards Wilder because he never been in Wilder's side. You know what I'm saying? So he always like supporting Anthony Joshua. He betted against Wilder both times. So the truth, if he was genuine, I would say yeah, Floyd would help him a lot because I could see Floyd helping Deontay Wilder out. But if he was genuine, if not, Wilder gonna have to go figure it out with somebody else. Camp. Like I said, he need to get rid of JD as keep Mark Breland, put him as head coach, and bring another coach in there. That's all I got on it.
All right, thanks for calling in. We're gonna go out to the ATL.
Riding in the form with a form, 4 Gianos on my feet, and the paint look wet. Every corner that we been, there's another broke neck. Rolling through the city, swag game on full flex. I know you see.
Intrigue the Incredible, what it do?
What's good? What's going on, y'all?
Chillin'.
Man, after that fight, man, I was one of the ones that was calling out that, that Wilder need to switch up his team. He need to do all this. Just real emotional. But after going back, watching it, I don't think he need to change nothing. Just don't get caught by that lucky punch. Maybe work a little bit more on the defense. But to me, he fight him again, it's going to be a totally different thing because the fight changed once he got hit by that punch, that one punch. You talking about one punch. We seen what he did in the first fight. In the second fight, after that one punch, things was different. So I don't think you need to be changing up everything like that, So that's just my opinion. And then what's up with the little boomerang? I've been trying to get that for like a year. Every time I go check it, man, it don't be available.
Hit me up on IG, man. I just hooked somebody up, man. We can make some things happen for you behind the scenes. Hit me up on IG, NestGTO, and we'll get you squared away, champ. Intrigue the Incredible. Thank you for calling in. We're going out to a new caller at 803. 803, what is that? Florida? What's the 803? Let me double check this here. 803. Oh, what's that? Boston?
I thought it was area code.
South Carolina? South Carolina? Who's this? First time caller?
Who's looking at it? Doctor. Yeah, he gives for something. One big old put the body in one over the top.
My man listening to like reggae or something? What's going on over there?
I listen to Fury.
Hey,
that's what I thought it was.
Oh, really? I'm gonna try and catch that again. I ain't hear that. Again, South Carolina.
You big Dawson.
Hello? Oh, wrong one. Wrong. Sorry. Oh, he dropped off. Okay, so he was just calling in to say. So that was like a clip repeating saying Dawson?
No, I don't know what it was saying. I know it sounded like Fury though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It just sounded like Fury to me.
Shit,
But
I
it could
hope
have been
Fury
anything.
wasn't calling me from no South Carolina number. Damn.
No, it sounded like somebody was playing a video
Yeah.
for.
Exactly. It sounded like a clip in the background.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's this. This looks like a new caller in the Florida area. Oh, I was about to make a mistake with my dyslexia. That's not Florida. That's actually 470. I was going to say 407. So let me see who's this. This is actually... Where'd it go? All right, so that dropped off. All right. Going out to Rod in the 870.
Hey, a couple things. Mario, welcome back. Happy to hear that you made up with
My
everybody and
God,
you're
you got
back on the
somebody
team.
playing, singing in the back. In the
No, I'm in
background.
the gym, man. I'm in the gym. Ain't nothing I can
Oh,
do with that.
okay.
But Mario,
Appreciate it.
happy to
Appreciate it.
get you back. And
Thank you.
hopefully we can go ahead and get that pound for pound list that we were going to be working on when we before you left the first time.
That's right. That's
And
right. Yep.
the next thing, I think Floyd Mayweather's clout chasing. I hate when he do shit like this. He's just looking for attention. He's an attention whore. So I'll leave that at that. Paulie hates Canelo and Wilder and Conor McGregor. And make sure you guys read my super chats, man. I sent in like 3 or 4, and you guys haven't read any from the last show. I think your Skype went out or whatever. But make sure you catch
Yeah,
those.
I tried to put that page up, but when the show go down, I don't think they
It's
pop
all
up
good.
on that
It's
page.
all good, and Mike. It was only like $6, so it ain't no big deal. But
Right.
yeah, man, good show. Happy to have you guys back. I think you guys gonna take it to the next level this year with Mario. All right.
All right.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you
Speaking
for
of super
calling in.
chats, Rodney 870 says clout chasing. Don't forget my super chats last show. And he also says Paulie hates Canelo, Wilder, and Connor. Clown.
Yo, if y'all want to tweet at Mario Munguia on Twitter with y'all super chats, now that I say that, everybody's gonna be pretending they got a super chat in. Y'all hit me up. I'll read the super chats from the Twitter because I just don't want y'all to miss out on that. So on the next show, or even if y'all can make it this one.
Let me see here. Let's see what it is that we missed. I'll go back before we get to any other callers.
Yeah, you know, I hear everybody talking about clout chasing and this and that, and you know, that's just the way I felt when I heard it. But I'm not gonna lie, I think that when you're in Floyd's position at this point, helping the sport should be the main priority. You know,
Hell yeah.
and he's doing a lot for fighters. I'm not saying he's not,
But he could do more.
you know,
he could do
he
more.
could.
So
He could.
if this is genuine, it would be exactly what I've been criticizing him of not doing. You know, he's the face of boxing. He should be, you know, doing more to help a lot more people. But let me get to all the super chats. We're going to take it all the way back to the top to this morning's crashed episode. Big Super Max, the mastermind, says, no way it's 11,000. A lot of taped off seats. And he's talking in reference to Jesse Vargas and Mikey Garcia and the fight attendants. We have another one that says KP from KC. 5, that's who the super chat is from. He says, Mike, you tripping. Mikey get Manny before Bud. So yeah, it looks like Mikey is getting Manny before Bud. Eric Cruz in Texas, the true ambassador of Texas. I'm looking to get Mitty some pro fights in the States. Stay tuned. I hear you, champ. De Leon Daniels, I could definitely help with that. Tell Mitty, let's turn pro. De Leon Daniels, is Skype coming back? And y'all did an interview with Raquel Miller. Yo, Raquel kind of ducking me. Every time I hit her up, she hits me back and everything, but she's always busy. I mean, she did a lot of trips and stuff.
She in Africa right now, I think.
Again? She was just in Egypt. She was just in Egypt, so I mean, like, whoa, you know. But she's doing her world tour. Once she gets back, we're trying to get her on the show. We've been discussing with her a lot about
I think
that.
she's still there because that's
last time
Africa,
I
right?
seen
she's still
on
there.
IG, she was in Egypt looking at the temples and things. So
yeah.
She's definitely over there having fun.
Yeah, so we got another one coming from the casual bass guy. Says TBV, shout out all the Border Wars fighters. Any updates? We got the teaser with some highlights. It's out. It's public. You can check that out. We got Rod in 870 says cloud chasing. Don't forget my super chats. And Mike already read the other one. So we're going out to what looks like our alumni caller, everyday caller for sure, man. Shout out Keem in Florida.
El gran campeón puertorriqueño, this is Davis, Chico Trinidad.
You got any excuses tonight, Roy? Let's not ask questions like that. Let's touch gloves and go to work. Tonight, Roy. Let's go to work.
Yo, what up? Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, awesome, man. Yeah, appreciate another show. Good, great interview with Paulie, man. I don't always agree with Paulie, but he speaks real well, man. He's always got something interesting to say. And as far as the Floyd thing, man, I don't believe Floyd either. I mean, he's got a whole gym of fighters, and there's tons of other people. Why doesn't he train? I've never seen him train anybody. So, it's not like he would take Wilder on as his first, fighter that he trained. I don't know. That's just weird. I think he's just clout chasing. He does that quite a bit. There's tons of people out here that call Floyd's name for a fight. He never answers them. Then as soon as Pacquiao beats Thurman and gets a title, all of a sudden he's all over Twitter talking shit to Pacquiao. He just seems to know when and with who to go after on the media and keep his name out there. And as far as with Wilder, we got to remember Wilder made it to this point by himself with the people around him. I just read something the other day where it says in his last 3 fights he made $70 million. And again, that's with the same people that's been around him since day one. Why would he decide to change everything up? Everything everybody's saying now, they've been telling Wilder for 15 years, man. And it didn't matter. Cut
it. All right. Let's get to Stone Bone Boxing. Talk to me.
What up? Hey, Wilder got a war mindset, and you don't take a guy in the war with you who's been talking about you like that. That's how you get left on the battlefield dead, shot by friendly fire that they call it. You don't need no Floyd. Floyd been talking way too crazy. I don't think he respect Floyd, and I don't think you ever should bring in somebody you don't respect, because it might lead to some that's worse than what just happened in the ring could happen dealing with people you don't respect, especially people who like attention like Mayweather, who are willing to go to the media and leak if y'all were to have a blow up, it would come out in the media. So I don't think he need to waste his time. He need to focus on fighting, not focus on personalities and none of that. He need to focus on fighting, jabbing and punching. That's it. Forget Floyd. Forget all of the offers. Forget all of this talk, man. Just forget it. Go on vacation, relax, come back, hit the gym, and get focused. You let AJ do it, so it's time for you to do it, Wilder. This can be your comeback story on your road to Fury 4 or X1.
Yeah, the lion was not part of the that was a mistake. I was just trying to hit the cut it. They close to each other. Do apologize, Stone Bone. Thanks for calling in. We got looking like Boomerang Jace. Wait, is this Jason in Missouri or is this Jason in Ohio? Give me a little flash there on the mute. Ohio? Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's get on out to J. Will in Ohio. Man, y'all need to help me out with these screen names. Change that shit up. Help a brother distinguish everyone.
Yeah, what's up, man? I think I'm with the consensus, man. It was definitely Mayweather being kind of funny, even how he worded it. It's like I can teach him how to win, as if Wilder doesn't have a lot of dubs under his belt. So just that in itself, how it was worded, I think it was kind of being a little funny. But the one thing I find kind of disheartening, man, is there was a guy that just called in. He said that I don't know, he was talking kind of reckless on Wilder, man. I feel it, and the thing about it, I just want to ask Ness, Mario, and I'm gonna do Mike. I don't recall hearing Mexicans calling in they might pick against Canelo, but they don't tear Canelo down. I don't hear any Europeans calling in, tearing down Triple G. I just find it crazy that another black man is going to play another black man as if he can't read. He said the dude had to try it 100 times before he got his little message right. To me, it's kind of silly, man, to play each other like that. I think we can do better. That's it.
You know, it's funny. Funny you bring that up.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Funny you bring that up because there's a song that was written dedicated to the Wilder Fury loss called "Champion." I think it's I'm gonna get the name of the YouTube channel, put it in the chat, but it's a pretty dope song too.
It is. It's a dope song, and it's got some pretty crazy verses. Even though, like, whatever. No, listen. I need to highlight that last call. Yo, I want to say, and I'm gonna be real, and I don't want to sound like some snowflake, fucking trying to be all politically correct, but I wanted to say that so bad. I just feel like, as a Hispanic dude, I just don't have the right to call anybody out like that. But I absolutely agree. Like, you know how easy it is, and I'm not saying easy, but Mexican fighters, they are propelled in this sport, by fans, by promoters. Just the business ends up going in their way, in their route. Black men in boxing have always been against the gun. You look at Andre Ward, never got the credit he deserved, and probably still doesn't. There's just a lot of guys like that out there, and I agree. For Floyd to, I'm not saying he's bringing him down. Oh, maybe he is, but just why not build this man up? Like you're gone. You're not in the sport. So help another. Help another black man out. You know what I mean? And again, I feel weird saying that, but I think that call absolutely said it best. I should have just let him, say it and say I agree. But absolutely, man, I wanted to say that the whole show, but I'm glad you said it.
I just think it's as simple as everybody's not gonna like everybody. Like, this is nothing like, man, every sport that I've ever watched, man, guys get into it. Black on black. I mean, people are not always gonna get along with each other. Like, it's basketball. Kobe and Shaq, that was infamous back in the day, right? And now those guys, you know what I'm saying, patch it up. But at that point in time, those guys didn't like each other. T.O. and Donovan McNabb. I mean, come on, bro. Like, this shit has been going on. Like, sports are a lot of machismo and a lot of I want to be better than you. And I don't really know what I'm saying. Did Floyd say that it took Wilder 10 times to get the video right or something like that? Because I didn't hear that.
No. Floyd didn't say that. That was
somebody in the chat.
No, that was a caller. It was a caller. It was a caller. It was. Let me see if he's still on the line.
The point he was saying was that the way that the video came out, like, basically he was trying to say, like, how many times? Yes, like how many times you got to say it? And, like, basically he was not speaking out of pocket, but just like that wasn't his lane. And it didn't seem natural.
On whatever they want to give their opinion on. It's
for sure.
Social media now. Everybody gets an opinion. And everybody's not going to agree with everybody's opinion. Period.
Absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. But I do agree with the last caller that, look, there are plenty of Mexican fans that don't like Canelo, but you don't hear that same opposition like you do with a Floyd Mayweather or Andre Ward or a Deontay Wilder. These guys were up against it, and the community, I think, has said it before that they don't appreciate the community not helping out, the people like that. And I agree. You know what I mean? I agree. I think that's real talk.
Don't be like that, bro.
You're right. You're right, Mike. You're absolutely right.
You got to be twice as good as everybody else.
And you know it better than I do.
All knew that shit growing up, so you got to be twice as good as whoever your counterpart is, because it's going to be perceived that you ain't going to be able to get the same opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But
that's what I'm saying. That, like, because that's how you grew up, and your family had to teach you that, and life had to teach you that, and school had to teach you that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you're older now, and you're Floyd Mayweather, and you're thinking to yourself, like, yo, I know how hard it is for a black man just to survive in America, but let alone to make it to a spotlight where he can make something of himself and make something good and be, there's that one line, Ness, in that song where they're talking about, like, well, what about the black baby or the black kid that's inspired by
he
Deontay
definitely
Wilder?
said the black baby that wants to get what Deontay Wilder's at.
Exactly. And if you're that kid and you're hearing this negative talk to Wilder, like, what does that do to you? Like, what does that say to you if you're like, well, if I make it, I'm still never gonna get, this. I don't know. It's a complicated issue.
Yeah, because it's tearing down an accomplishment. You know what I mean? The way that he phrased it in the song was perfect because some can look at this as Wilder failing, but someone that isn't in Wilder's position that comes from the same background as Wilder is looking at it as a achievement. It's just
Exactly.
like
Like
Buster
that man been
Douglas.
succeeded. That man been
Exactly.
succeeded, and that's what the song was about. I think, ultimately, it was a great track. Definitely, people should check that out.
For sure.
And just one quick thing to all the little kids out there who probably was inspired, who was listening, not always going to be able to please everybody. And you shouldn't try to please everybody. Please your damn self. Live with that.
Idris, UK, talk to me.
Oh man, what's happening, man? You man are having some fucking motivational talk on TBV, fam. What's going on, bruv, man? Wilder's
Hey,
a
man, it's a
fucking
new
prick.
day. It's a new day, baby.
Fucking
Our champ coming back.
listen, man. He wants to. He was acting like he's the Terminator and all that for all these years, yeah. And now all of a sudden we all have to feel sorry for him, man. Next, what happened to the violins, man? Bring that shit back, man. Oh man, he just pick himself up. Oh man, we got to root for him, man. Fuck that. Hey man, Deontay Wilder, man. I mean, he just came from Alabama, man. The guy, all his life, he's been struggling. And Floyd Mayweather. I'm fucking with y'all. Listen to this, yeah.
There's only
Listen.
one Deontay Wilder.
Hey, this is a real question, yeah. You know what, yeah? One thing I like about Deontay Wilder is he made a co-promotional fight that we never see, yeah. And his loss, yeah. This may never happen again. Because if he loses Tyson Fury again?
Cut it.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wonder what he was gonna say. But I hear where he's coming from, though. I do, because, and like I said, it's a tough thing to talk about. I see Mike laughing too, cause, oh man, that was a great call.
Let me get to Lance
I
in
don't know what you're talking about, bro. I don't think my face even cracked a smile.
Lance in Ohio.
Hey, what's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yo, man. First off, listening, people are absolutely ridiculous, man. Everybody want to tell you how to do it, and they never done it. They tell them about it. Don't do this. Don't do that. Or listen, man. Like, I guarantee most of you people never boxed before, and I know they've never been a champion. Why wouldn't you want Floyd? Listen, you got to put your ego to the side when it comes to boxing. Boxing is spiritual and mental and emotional as much as it's physical. So why wouldn't you accept any knowledge? Just because you might be against me in another way doesn't mean that I can't use you to my advantage. Like, I just don't understand this concept of allowing your ego to keep you from bettering yourself just because, like, listen, I go to work every day, man, and, like, I don't always like the people there, but if I can get something that they can get, I feed my family with that check. You know what I mean? Like, and then, like, oh, like, Floyd got an attitude. Listen, I'm not going to turn down no chick who make more money than me, look good, she bad and all this because she make more money than me, or she might got an attitude. Listen, it's 80-20. She going to have 80% of the things that I need, 20% I might have to figure out a way to put up with it. But we got to put our ego to the side as men, as fighters, and we got to get out there, and we got to get the knowledge and information.
Hey, Lance, man, I'm with you on 100%, man. Egos are the downfall of man. And,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mario is a testament to that, right? Because I've never closed that door, and I tried to, with time remain the communication because I don't want my ego to ruin my ability to grow this show. And if people, feel he brings something, if I allow my ego to cause a divide or to close that door, it would be an issue. So I'm with you, man. Egos are the downfall of man. And once I started to swallow my pride, I've been able to accomplish a lot in life. But I'm talking for me and me only, not for Deontay Wilder.
90 seconds.
Yo, if he wants to swallow that pride, look, I feel like the ego thing to check it would to be to say that the Tao was the best case scenario and just move on. And he doesn't have to even come out publicly and say it, but just let it go. Get what you can.
I think he's already done that by keeping Breland.
Yeah, he has. You're right.
By saying out loud that he's keeping Breland publicly, I think that's him coming to his senses and realizing, this is a dude that's been with me from the beginning. He had
60 seconds.
He had my best interest at mind when he did what he did.
You're right. And he checked his ego just like that. So,
So, man, listen, there's always room for growth. We're going out to what looks like a new caller in the 571. 571. New caller. Please, no Bluetooths, no Skypes. Let's make sure that you sound right. We're going to, what is this, Virginia?
Yes, Virginia.
How you doing, brother? What's your name? First time caller?
Hey, my name is Jarvis. I'm a first time caller, but I'm a long time listener. I just had to say real quick that Floyd is capping. He's not going to be a great trainer or a great fit for Wilder. And two, I think Wilder was kind of right. I think his leg was shot from the first round. Like, I watched the fight the other day, and like he was throwing punches and landing punches in the first 2 rounds, but he would lose balance after every shot. And I think Fury seen that and just stopped throwing him and it was game over from that point. So I really think he just need to have like a fit camp or something to work on his balance on his legs before he go back in his rematch. And that's all I got to say.
Well, all right, brother. Thank you for calling in. Jarvis, we got you down. Thanks for calling in. Virginia, we're going out to Alabama. Danny, what up?
Hey, Mike and Ness and Mario. Hey, thumbs up on the Pauly interview. That guy's a walking history book. He knows what he's talking about. Listen, I wanted to say that Dazn, I think they put on an outstanding card, and I think they outshined Fox and the Plus from the previous week. And on the undercard, a kid I was really impressed with is Israel the Dream Madrimov from Uzbekistan. 5-0, 5 KOs, over 350 amateur fights. The kid switches up from southpaw to conventional. He's got crazy skills, and they've already got him ranked number 2 in the WBA at 154. And Ness, are you going to go to the Barclays this coming Saturday to see the babyface, Adam Kalnecki?
Nah, we're going to be doing it live, man. Immediate reaction, live fight chat. We working over here.
Well, listen, last thing I want to say, and I'll let you go, on weigh-ins, when a fighter is having trouble making weight, the best thing to do, if he's got to shake a few pounds, is put mineral.
Sorry about that, Danny.
Real talk though, thank you, Danny, for saying that. I actually, before the last show cut off, me and Mike were talking about that fighter, and Madrimov, I think is how you say it. Man, he looks so good. I feel like he could have gotten a stoppage sooner. Like that would have been a little more impressive. He was just damaging that guy.
He is in shark-infested waters at 154.
He is. You're absolutely right, but God, he looked good. The way he pivoted, the way he was creating angles, that's just high level.
Ain't that the dude that couldn't get the knockout?
No.
He eventually got it, but yeah, we were sitting at Outback, and we thought he was gonna get it for like 2 or 3 rounds, and he finally got it. But
that's the one we watched that at the dinner table.
Yeah, we were at the dinner table watching that, and he looked good. Yeah, I think he could have gotten the stop. It would have probably been a little better, but if he would have gotten a little sooner. But he made mincemeat out of that dude, and it was an incredible performance.
I gotta see how you swim with the Sharks at 154, man. If I can just put that crown on your head. I ain't really been impressed by him that much.
Well, all right. Let's go out to what looks like a new caller in the 803. 803, new caller. Let us know, please. No Bluetooths or speakerphones. 803, South Carolina. What's up?
This day, to this day, to this day.
Yeah, man. He don't play sound bites all day.
So you're not talking, sir? All right.
He played Fury, then he played to this day.
New caller in the 585. Who's this?
This me. You talking to me?
I'm talking to
you.
you.
Yeah, this me. What up, me?
Oh, nah. This Night Train. This Night Train.
Yeah,
what
my
up?
bad, man. Yeah, what's happening, man? Ness and brothers. Yo, I think it's I think Floyd would be would be it's good for consulting and whatnot. But I think my man he need some heavyweight advice, man. You know, it's a little different animal with the different weight classes. I think he need a brother that'll help him out. That's a heavyweight, man. He already got Mark Breland. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
That's all I had. That's all I had to say, man.
All right, Night
Yeah,
Train. Thanks for
man.
calling in.
His call kind of got to me, man, because I ain't like the fact that he turned this into like a '70s R&B group, Ness and Brothers. What the fuck is going on like that?
We just start busting out into harmonies and
we
shit.
got one microphone, 3 dancers. Know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Do you think Wilder will win in a rematch with Fury? If I train him, I can teach him how to win.
Kevin in Chicago, talk to us.
Nash, did you see you get called out yesterday? So you got called out by somebody on a stream. Because you might have been a little critical.
That's all right, brother. I don't want to talk about anyone worrying about me. You're wasting your time on that. You need to talk your call here, brother. It doesn't matter people's opinion of me.
Yeah, I'm just saying, though, because you might have been a little critical of Wilder. That's how these people are, man. It's just like, it's getting sad with he cheated with the gloves, and if you don't worship the ground he walks on, then he can throw you under the bus. It's getting sad, man. He lost a prize fight. Get over it. It's not the end of the world. He didn't cheat. It was fair and square, and he lost. Just get over it and move on. It's getting sad with this shit. It's getting real sad the way they some people are handling this loss.
What's more sad,
not the end of the world. What's that?
The fact that you were in denial that Derenchenko didn't beat Triple G. That's really sad.
Wait, what about Triple G?
Derenchenko beat Triple G, and you came on the show the day after and said Triple G won. What the whole boxing world knows that he lost.
No, what I said it's nice that Triple G gets a decision. Actually gets a decision, doesn't get robbed. He got robbed so many times that it's actually surprising that he got a decision. He's usually getting robbed.
Nah, he became the robber. Gotcha.
No speaker, no Bluetooth. Ohio runs boxing. What up?
What up, Ohio?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me good? All right,
Absolutely.
man. First of all, Floyd Mayweather ain't helping nobody, man. We ain't taking him seriously. And if I'm Wilder, I wouldn't take Floyd's advice or even trying to help. Floyd ain't even got an eye for talent, period. If it wasn't for Ohio, he wouldn't be where he is. Al Heyman from Ohio, and Adrian Broner gave him Tank Davis. The man don't even have, he had signed Ashley Theophane, and he got the nerve talking about he can help somebody. He's, face the fact, one of the best boxers ever. He's one of the best boxers, but he's like Michael Jordan to me. Horrible management. Horrible manager. You know, he's horrible. No one's taking that guy seriously, man. So I hate even mentioning that guy, his name. He don't want to give people a fair shake, especially black fighters, because he never got a fair shake, so he envies them. So he's going to make sure nobody else get a fair shake because he never got it. Like, it just, he kills me, man. I can go on and on about that guy. But at the end of the day, that's my call. I'm out. Or I'll run boxing.
Yo, he said Ashley Theophane. That was hilarious.
To this day. To this day. Sing along if you know the words. Come on.
Boomerang in the UK. Coyote, what up?
What's going on, people? What's going on? Listen, quick question. Ness, is Wilder your king? Mike, is Wilder your king?
He is the American heavyweight king of boxing. Damn right.
I think no, he's trying to convert you to like some
Nah,
religion.
nah. I ask you a specific question. Is he your king?
In boxing,
I gave you my answer, bro. The American heavyweight
Okay.
king.
the king of the boxing heavyweight
Is that
division.
the,
The American, baby.
yeah, that got
My country tis of
nah,
thee. You know what I'm saying?
that that video is probably one of the most cringiest videos I've ever seen on the internet. I am your king. We we are at war. Like, dude, you're the one. You're the only one in the ring. There's no one with you. There's no we. It's just you and Fury in the ring. What does it mean by we are at war? This guy is so deluded.
What you mean? It's a war because
Gosh.
it's been 2 fights, so those were battles. It's not over.
Yeah, but what does it mean? We are at war. Who's we? Who are the we?
What you mean? His fans against Tyson Fury's fans. He calls himself a king, and his fans are his peoples, his disciples. Why
Yeah,
you
but the point he's
mad?
making is that those fans ain't taking the shot, so it ain't really a war. If you in a war, then that means that you're vulnerable to being
I
hurt.
see.
Like he's the
Y'all
only
taking
one
sides.
in there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think he's trying to say.
They're taking what's the word? Social media, you know what I'm saying, jabs at people. So it's a war, you know what I'm saying? You got the UK versus the US on social media. That's rampant. I don't care what you get on YouTube. You can get on the good old Twitter too and see it. So and
Yes,
the
sir.
comment section. Read the comment section, boy. The comment section are like wonderful, you know what I'm saying? If you really want to get a good gauge on the war, you know what I'm saying? Like American fans and like British fans been going back and forth for a long time now.
Let's try Mastermind again. No, what up?
Whoa, what up, Nuts?
What
Look,
up?
man, yeah. Look, my audio is all right. Is all right. I'm on these bad roads, bro.
Nah, it sound good.
All right, cool. Man, yeah, I ain't addressed this, bro. I just, what's up, Mario? Man, the prodigal son has returned. What's
What
happening,
up?
man?
What up? No.
You dig? Shit, bro, I mean, we gotta address this shit, Mario, bro. Like, what happened? You dig?
You know, brother, sometimes it just things work out better at certain times in life, but I'm just appreciative that Ness has always held the door open. You know, he's a good dude. First and foremost, that man's my friend. And this business would never stop him from being my friend. He knows that, and I know I'm his friend lifelong. So, you know what I mean? If you can work out, I mean, if you're friends, you can work out anything. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad I'm back. You know, I've left a couple times for different reasons. The last time was definitely on me. But I'm back, man. I'm back for sure, and I appreciate you. I know I appreciate you showing love.
All right, that was up. Glad you back, bro. Glad we getting the band back together. This shit starting to feel like what's the name of that group? What's the name of that group, Mike? Bobby Brown and them and all that. You heard me? We pulling there. This the
That's
reunion
the
shoot.
second goddamn call. They're trying to turn this to an R&B group. What the hell is
I was
going on
waiting.
here?
Yeah,
I was
man.
waiting for Mike to say something.
This the reunion shoot. But yeah, bro, I think like I said, I think Floyd Cabin, Wilder keep working. I don't know what these callers talking about. You feel like you're a king, you're a king. I feel like I'm a king. You know what I'm saying? Everybody feel like they're a king, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Keep doing your thing, champ. We still behind you. I ain't no bandwagon jump. That's my call.
NO gave you two there since we weren't able to get you on. Did we ever get to JT and NO? I think we played that intro, right? We got the JT and NO, Mike.
I don't remember us getting to him.
No,
Nah, we
But
got a super chat that I want to get to if y'all don't mind. Matt Garcia says Floyd can't even promote his fighters. Why take him on as your trainer? Promoting and training two different things, big dog. Miguel Robles says, thanks, Ness and Mike, for all the hard work in the TBV family out here in Bakersfield, California. Spreading the word about you guys. You can add Mario to that mix too, big dog. Rod in Ace and O says, more black people dog water than the UK fans did. Sad, bro. We live in an area of social media. Most of them fans didn't even know who Wilder was. but they seen it trending, and look, guess what? I could do it. I can do a video talking about this guy. You know what I'm saying? They just don't even watch boxing, bro. Like it's the area of social media. Everybody wants to be first with their take and make a video to get views. That's the area we live in. So you're gonna see a lot more people get slandered in the media. Simple as that.
Yo, the fight made it mainstream though, man. I've been talking about this
It
fight with
did.
a lot of people that are straight casuals, women too. It crossed over to the women, so it did well. It did well. Have any other numbers come out in terms of official numbers? Or
Just the UK, I seen like somebody say Bob Arum said like it's trending towards like 800K at 5 o'clock in the morning in the UK, which is damn good. That's pretty good right there. Like that's like hats off kind of good.
all right, well, let's get on out to JT since you said we ain't get to him.
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. Come on. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. You know, we're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll kill this mother. Why do you have to talk like that? Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
What's up next? Y'all got to me, but I could go again if you want me to. Basically, look,
My
look.
bad.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say this though. Like I feel like Floyd. He ain't clout chasing because he's always the clout. He always in the limelight. So that I can't say clout chasing. But like I said, I feel like Floyd kind of don't want to see another black man do as good as him. So he always come out with the comment like when Adrian Broner lost to Madonna, he came out with the same positive thing, stay up champ and all that, you still a champ and all that. Now he want to sit here and talk about training Deontay Wilder, but he never had nothing good to say about Deontay Wilder. And you know, in the past, if he had decent things to say about him, yeah, absolutely, I think Floyd can make Wilder a better fighter and stuff like that. But now, I mean, Deontay Wilder know.
Cut it, cut it, cut it.
And let's just keep it all the way funky, man. Like Floyd don't want to see nobody do better than him. Soon as Canelo signed that motherfucking $345 million deal, what Floyd say? Oh, I made that in one night. You know, he ain't doing what I did. I made that one night. So Floyd don't want to see his records broke at all. He don't want to see them records even be come close to. He don't want to see nobody be better than Floyd because at the end of the day, like boxing and his legacy is pretty much all he got. And I ain't seen out here on no commercials selling nothing. Maybe he don't need that. But so, a lot of people who, when they tend to build empires, do a lot of endorsing different things. You know what I'm saying? Shaq endorsed that shit you see on the houses now, where your video on the outside of the
Ring
porch.
doorbell?
Oh, the ring, yeah.
It made a grip. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Nah,
And
Ring is super popular
the back
right now.
paint, the back patch too. I try that shit. It
Shit,
works.
Shaq endorsed a lot of shit. He do commercials out here all the time for some sort of insurance company too.
The General.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Yeah,
the
Shaq
general.
everywhere.
No shit.
General, bro.
Right. That's
Yeah, but
right.
Shaq did a crossover with Floyd. I mean, with Oscar too. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I seen that.
let's
Oh,
get
I remember
to
that.
J Mac Boomerang.
Yo, how y'all? The sound? I'm good.
I mean, keep going, keep going.
Alright, cause I was driving. I'm sitting down. I just want to say like thank you for the event. Definitely, I had a great opportunity this weekend. For his Stone, shout out to Stonebone and Jay Will. And I don't agree with Jay Will that much, but we agreed on this one. He called out Civilian 11. Civilian 11 was the guy that came on here. They pretty much got on, and Mario came on afterwards and made his 2 cents. Civilian 11 must be the smartest motherfucker in the world. He always seems to critique somebody interview. When you had the guy on here with the network that what's the boy name Ricky free Ricky or whatever Ricky Ross was talking about joining with the guy came on here, you had the interview, he had a lot to say about him. So like I said, he must be one of them 10.0 motherfuckers. I just remember Mario voice so Ness, you ain't gotta worry about me coming at your head by yourself no more. Your little compadre Mario could take the heat too, cause he a bud hater. So when he get on here spewing bud, I'll be coming at you off now. That's my call.
Yeah, that's because he a Khan fan, but I don't think he gonna have anything to
Yeah.
say after Khan got destroyed by Bud. Or are you calling it a dick
Nah, yeah.
shot? It was a dick shot, in my opinion.
That was a Con Bud thing for me. I'm a Con fan, but I love Bud. I love him. So I'm not a hater on Bud. I'm just a fan of Con, and we just clashed in that one instance. But I like Bud.
So it wasn't a dick shot.
Nah.
Okay. I think even Mike thought it was a little pee shot, right, Mike?
Hell no. I know I ain't saying no damn dick shot. Don't put that on me. And he didn't get dropped either.
What? Yo, this fighter's out here saying he got dropped with that. Come on, man. The crab and lobster?
Heavy is the head. We feel with Deontay Wilder right now. Heavy is the head that wear the crown. Everybody want to take shots at you.
Man. Trey Boomerang.
Give it to.
You breaking up? We on the
You sound
road
like
too?
Siri on a bad connection right now.
She must be on the road too.
Give it the stone bone.
Nah, we ain't got
Can
you.
y'all hear me?
Try it now. Let me see. Cause we every now and then we get a good clear word. Then you go R2D2 on us.
Give it to
He said, "Give it to the Stone Bone."
Oh,
He
we
said,
got
"Give it
that.
to Stone Bone."
We got that. We got that. Give it to
Jay
Stone
Michael, make
Bone.
sure you
Stone
hear.
Bone. Go for it.
What up, Stone Bone?
Oh my bad, I'm eating my turkey sandwich, man. But like I said, man, Floyd just I don't want to say clout chasing because he got a lot of clout, but I would never. I mean, Wilder don't trust him, so I wouldn't even waste my time thinking about that. He needs to be in the gym. If he keeping Breland, get Breland in there, get Jay Diaz some help or something. He needs to go back to being an advisor, manager instead of a trainer. I don't like I said last time. Jay Diaz as his head trainer is the same as if Floyd would have made Leonard Ellaby his head trainer. He can be in the corner, he can do stuff for you, he can be an advisor and manager and all that kind of stuff, but you need somebody that got an actual boxing background as your head coach. I respect Jay Diaz, I respect what he do for Wilder, but it's like, come on, man.
And
You
that's why
gotta,
Mark threw the towel in.
all right,
I
and
respect
that's
Mark
what
for
I
that,
say.
man.
Elevate Mark. Push Breland back. Say, hey, you handle the camp. Get the guys in here that I need to train with. But the training need to be handled by a boxer. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion, man. I'm gonna catch.
Cut it.
Coyote.
The only problem I got with Mark, and he can't do nothing to change it. Damn, soft ass voice, like Mark, you can't hear him. You can't hear Mark. Like Mark give me a straight, like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing now that Mark just got a little soft voice. Other than that, man, Mark is a good guy. Did the right thing, in my opinion. He's been there before. He was a fighter. He is the guy in the corner that out of all those guys probably could have made that a decision the best, and he did what he did, and pretty much, man, he may be even ensured that the trilogy happened by throwing that towel in. We got to look at it from that aspect too.
Definitely. Boomerang. UK Coyote. What up? Coyote. Coyote. Let me see here. All right. He called in on Skype. Let's get him on there. So yeah, while we wait for him
So
to connect.
how did like Leonard Ellaby get into the Floyd Mayweather? Was he always there?
He was a corner man. He was a corner man.
He was always there, like from the jump.
I guess.
I mean,
I always
not
remember
from the
him.
jump. Nah, his dad, controlled most of the aspects of his early amateur career, and then Bob Arum, of course. But once Leonard Ellaby came in, I think the point he was trying to make is like Leonard Ellaby was kind of like more of a. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was just kind of like a visual type of thing. Like it wasn't about, you know what I'm saying? That's the point he was making. I absolutely agree with them. That's exactly what Leonard Ellaby was. And sure, Floyd could be something like that if he wanted to. I doubt he does. But yeah.
The only reason that I asked, I just want to see how Leonard has risen from to like where he was to like now. Like it's like amazing. Like he's the head of Mayweather Promotions, always out here. He's pretty much the mouthpiece. Let's be real for pretty much not all things PBC, but most things PBC. He always gives his take on what's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? And he's more visible probably than any other outside of what's my guy's name? Ness, the one that was on the show, the VP, Tim Smith. Tim Smith, yes.
I think where Leonard Ellerbe came into power basically is like he ended up being the you said it, mouthpiece, but he ended up being that connection between De La Hoya and like when Floyd would make these fights with Golden Boy, it was like he didn't want to deal with Oscar. He didn't want to deal with some of these people. You know what I mean? If you ever read the Jay Prince biography or listen to it, it's on iTunes. It's fucking amazing. And he talks about Floyd Mayweather's career and the way he handled it. I mean, like we all know Jay Prince is not the one. You know what I mean? You don't fuck with that dude. And so at the right when Floyd Mayweather's career was about to start, there was like a lot of things popping off, and he gives a lot of good insights. And so I think Floyd needed somebody like Leonard Ellerbe to be in those meetings and kind of like alleviate the pressure off of him. You know what I mean? And he did a great job of it.
Shit, awesome. Next caller, Big Dog. Who we got up?
Looks like we got Coyote on the boomerang. What up, champ?
What up, champ? Talk to her.
What up? Yo, can you hear me now?
We hear you.
All right, good stuff. Listen, I'm not a fan of Floyd at all. I think he was bad for boxing. But I even think that Wilder is worse than Floyd. So, to me, every clowning that Wilder gets, he deserves it. I mean, wasn't it the same guy that was saying, fuck boxing skills? The same guy that was saying that, right? So, at the end of the day, if Floyd decides to clown him, he deserves it. And everything else that he's getting, he deserves it and more. Like, he was actually bad for boxing. So, I'm just glad that he's out of the picture. Let's get the undisputed fight, AJ Fury. Wilder is a bum, and he's going to lose the third match. Everyone said it. The only people who believe that he's going to win is Mike and the LDBC. Even Ness, deep down in his heart, he doesn't believe it. But he's not going to come out and say that. He's not going to come out and say that. I know you, Ness. I know you don't believe Wilder is going to win.
Cut it.
All right. Lids Low, Decatur, Georgia. What up?
What up, Lids Low?
Hey, shout out to Baldy 100. Hey, and shout out to Mario. So I'm riding in the truck and I hear somebody say, I absolutely agree with you. And I'm like, damn, that sound familiar. And shout out to Endo for saying, I know y'all probably say Mario name throughout the show, but I've been in and out. So shout out to you being back, Mario.
Appreciate it, man. It means a lot. Thank you.
100, man. I'm gonna make my shit real quick. Should Wilder fuck with Mayweather? Yes. This how I feel he should do. He should not spend his whole count with him. Give him about 2 or 3 weeks, and then he should end his count with a Foreman. And then far as this Mikey Garcia thing, I'm starting to think, he belong at 140. He ain't gonna beat no Pacquiao. If Pacquiao any kind of shape that he was when he beat Thurman, Mikey too slow. So that's a no-go. And he can try to get Bud, but he just don't. He good and technical, but he's slow. Like he was really slow in this last match, man. So I don't see.
Cut it.
Fighting that way he should be fighting that, man.
Yeah, I think he's carrying the weight wrong.
Go back to 135 where you was dominant. Go fight Lomachenko. I want to see that fight more than I want to see like a Devin Haney fight.
It looked like his body was carrying the kind of weight that could go down, Mike. So I agree. I mean, even with 140, yeah, he was a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
And then 140, but like, listen to me, Josh Taylor with Ben Davison. I don't know, bro. I don't know if it's
that would be fun, though. I think
a combination out there that's gonna be able to beat those two together. I know Jose Ramirez and Robert Garcia got a good chance of not putting him past him, but I think Josh Taylor made the perfect move in signing Ben Davison, somebody to shore up his outside game, because we seen it in the Richards fight. His inside game ain't no problem with you. If you want to get down and rugged, we can get down and rugged. Outside game, boxing ability, Ben Davison can definitely help with that. Yes, sir.
Absolutely,
yeah.
I 100% agree.
All right, let's go out to Fresno. Right? Fresno.
I won't deny it.
Dollar D Beyonce production.
Come with me. Hail Mary, run quick, see.
What's up, guys?
What up, Alex Lemon? What it do?
Hey, man, I'm on the road, but I had to call in real quick to say glad to have Mario back, man. It's a Boxing
I
Voice family, man. Hell yeah.
appreciate it, Alex. Thank
Hey,
you, Alex.
no doubt, no doubt. Hey, real quick, so about Wilder, I'm riding with Wilder. I'm going with my American champion. Even though I'm Mr. Top Rank, uh, and Tyson Fury being top rank, I'm still riding with Wilder. I'm picking my side. But he needs to do some changes in the corner. When I was watching the fight, man, I didn't hear anybody say anything to him. I seemed like he was sitting there quiet. He has, when you're losing a fight, you got to have that corner in there, and I didn't see them saying anything to him, and that's not good. So I don't know if Mayweather's the answer though, but I know Mayweather would definitely generate more ticket sales. I mean, bring up the hype and everything, but I just don't know if that's the right answer. And then Mikey definitely has to drop back down. That 147, it doesn't look good to me. I think he needs to dominate back down in the lower weight classes. And that's all I got, man. Good show.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for calling in. That is our last caller. So I want to thank everyone that tuned in. Stick around. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel right here at youtube.com/The Boxing Voice. You never know when we're going to go live with another spontaneous show. You know we love to book new interviews daily. Nest GTO, Instagram, and Twitter.
Follow me on IG at Gross1911 or on Twitter at Gross2312. Final thoughts are, man, Floyd out here doing what Floyd does, man, trying to take the spotlight, trying to increase his spotlight, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is, man. I don't think Wilder's going to bring him in, and I don't think he needs to bring him in either.
Fully agree. I couldn't have said it better. You can follow me. And it ain't even about following. Just come and hit me up on Twitter at Mario Munguia. Chop it up anytime. Whatever you agree, disagree with me, don't matter. It's all love. And Instagram, same thing at Mario Munguia. So, cheer.
All right. Peace.
Peace.